Downtown split. The center lane is blocked by a crash as you're approaching 24 there at exit 211. And Brentwood got a crash. Old Hickory Boulevard at Valley View Road. That's an injury crash, by the way, at Seven Springs Way. Berry Hill, a crash. Thompson Lane at Bransford Avenue. B&A, a crash. 40 eastbound right there at Briley Parkway East. That's going to be exit 215. Antioch, a crash, left shoulder block, 24 westbound near Harding Place. And again, I've been watching quite a bit of congestion going north and southbound 65 between Millersville and Goodlettsville today. It looks like that may be some construction slowing people down. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome in. It's another edition of the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for this Friday, October 24, 2025. Hello. How are you? Hope your afternoon's going well so far. It is a gorgeous fall-like day. I mean, it's not too warm. It's nice and brisk outside. You know, good hoodie weather. I'm sporting one on my own. Hope you're having a great day so far. Hope you got big weekend plans. I'm excited for our gathering together today, and I hope you're able to spend every single moment with us. It's episode 910 of the Matt Murphy Radio Show on Supertalk 99.7 WTN. It's day 281 of Donald Trump's 1,460.5 in his second term as President of the United States of America, as the 47th President of the United States of America. And I think that we have reached, I thought that on several past occasions, I have felt as if we have gotten to peak dumb when it comes to the media and Donald Trump. I think we've reached a new pinnacle. I think we've reached a new apex of stupidity with the mainstream media. If you need to know who is to blame, I said this yesterday and later on in the show, and I want to say it again at the beginning. And by the way, it's a First Amendment Freestyle Friday, which means anything goes on the phone lines, anything goes on the Super Talk line, anything goes on the Super Text line. I would love to hear from you. Obviously, the 4 o'clock hour is dedicated for Fry J. We love having our man Jay St. Clair in place there to answer your legal questions. But for the most part, we're taking all comers, we're taking all questions, we're taking all comments. If we've not talked about something this week and you think we should have, if we have talked about something this week and you want to offer your opinion on it, perhaps you tried to get in earlier in the week and you weren't able to, I absolutely love engaging you, and I especially love engaging you if you disagree with me. That's just kind of the way I am. So if you disagree with me, you go to the front of the line one way or the other. You call us up, 615-737-9986. Today is your day. 615-737-9986, either via the Super Text line or more importantly, on the phone lines as we get things cranked up here. Let me introduce the players of the show before I get off on a rant. There's Ken Weaver. He's back in News Closet B. He gathers headlines for a living. He delivers them twice an hour or when it breaks. And on these Fridays, it's always good to look over Jackson Williams' left shoulder and see that OU hat on your head on these Fridays, Ken Weaver. What's going on, brother?
How about you boys? And anchor down, baby. Anchor down.
Anchor down.
I'll never say it.
That's aggressive, is it not, Jackson?
They're going to beat them Missouri Tigers.
This feels like this. Ken,
I would much rather root for Eli Drinkowitz than Vanderbilt.
Can I just go ahead and is that a three? Is his last name 3 syllables? Have I been saying it wrong? I thought it was Drinkwitz.
Drinkowitz. Dimwit is what I call him often.
Dimwit is what you call him. I don't know. Vandy might be calling him daddy. Look.
Oh, boy.
Here's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is y'all better not be full of yourselves. I'm rooting for you. I think it's great. College game day's in town. Look, they asked me to be the celebrity guest picker. I said, guys, this is not right.
I'm a dog.
I'm a Georgia dog.
I
mean,
like old Shiny Head down there on West End.
No, I mean, I don't even know Coach Lee.
Shiny Head.
Is that what you call him?
I call him a lot of other nasty names.
Call him Coach Shiny Head.
Coach Shiny Head.
You know what? That's what I'm going to start calling Dan Mandis. Nashville's Morning News with Shiny Head and Joan Jones.
Produced by Sam Rutherford.
I'm just saying, y'all better watch it. Vandy.
Think they're getting all excited about ESPN coming and
distracted, excited. Ken, I'm going to say the word. This game feels trappy. Feels trappy. Doesn't it feel trappy? I think it's trappy. Man. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're not saying, you're just saying.
I'm just saying I feel like unless we're talking about the Kentucky Wildcats, any team in the SEC can beat any other team in the SEC on any given weekend.
Exactly. That's why Tennessee's got a bye this week.
I feel like you're probably right. I don't think Kentucky can beat anybody, which just goes to show you how bad Texas is because they almost beat But see, there you go.
I don't want to talk about that.
Because
who's who you play this week?
The Sooner fans don't want to talk about that. Who do y'all play this week, Ken?
Ole Miss.
Ooh.
Oh, Lehman. We tried to whoop them up for you.
So you're going to lose 2 in a row, Ken?
We tried to beat them up for you. Is it at y'all's place or at their place?
It's at our place.
That's good. That's good.
It's going to be raining, too.
That's going to be a weird game because I frankly thought before we went into that game that our defense might have something for that offense of Lane Kiffin's, but it turned out not to be the case, and it was a track meet.
Hot knife through butter.
I feel like your defense is going to have something for Lane Kiffin's offense.
I hope so. They got they got weapons.
They do.
They got big old weapons.
They
boy.
do. They're not playing around.
That Chambliss kid, that kid's good.
He's the real deal.
They got a backup pretty good too.
But we saw something. That Georgia did to him that he didn't like, and I guarantee you we're going to do the same.
Yeah, you do some more of that. Do some more of that. See what happens.
It's all in the film.
Woo! But I'm just. Vandy's all excited. Game day's coming to town.
Yes,
Is it true? Is it true that they wanted to go to Broadway at first? That's what I heard. I heard that Game Day wanted to set up on Broadway, and Vanderbilt said, "No, you're setting up on our campus." I don't know if that's true or not, but good if that is true. Good for Vanderbilt for saying no. You're not going to be on Broadway. You're going to be.
You don't want to be on the interesting part of Nashville. Let's go to our boring campus.
Haters.
I'm a full-blown Vandy hater.
Let me tell you something. Jackson.
And I wear it like a badge of honor.
Jackson, you know how much I love you. And I'm going to give you the floor in just a minute. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm going to let you fit like
I'm done.
Let me finish.
Who was that can I finish?
Right, that's Ross Perot.
Can I finish? You got to let me finish. Can I finish? You don't pay me a single dime to be president of the United States. But if I get this budget under control, you pay me, Ross Perot, $18 million. Anyway, Ken.
Yes, sir.
Tennessee folk, they're worried about Vandy.
Oh yes.
They're
Everybody
worried.
should be.
I'm much more worried about Oklahoma and a game down in the swamp than I am about Vanderbilt.
The swamp?
Tennessee's cursed.
How many years? This is the year, by the way.
I think it's like 20-something.
Has it been that long?
Like 03.
Wow.
Y'all have not beaten Florida in the swamp.
Well, they beat us for like 12 years straight.
Well, that's not good. Well, I think it's your year.
Hopefully.
I'm telling you.
I am much more worried.
I had
about old Ken Weaver back there.
Jackson, you can talk a good game all you want, old Ken Weaver. I'm telling you, I talked to a noted Tennessee Volunteer fan earlier today who said, I'm worried about Vandy. I looked at the tape. That O-line's pretty good.
Who?
Your buddy Joseph over on the sports station.
Joseph is the most scared Tennessee fan I know.
Is he now?
Yes, he's afraid of, Mississippi Community College.
Okay.
Those EMCC boys can play.
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
I'm not worried about Vandy.
Well, I was talking to a buddy of mine in Birmingham. I do a weekly hit down at my old radio station, my old stomping grounds, and he's a Tennessee Vol midday host down there, Andrew McLean. And Andrew was trying to gig me on the Georgia stuff. He's like, boy, oh boy, these Auburn fans they're beside themselves again. They They feel like y'all just stole one with that ref getting suspended. I was like, I know. And he goes, well, that's happening. And, I mean, who's getting paid off what? And the NBA scandal. I was like, I know. And I hear it's filtering down to players. I hear they might be paying off kickers. You know, normally reliable kickers, get them in the fourth quarter, game-winning field goal to win the game, to break, I don't know, an 8-game winning streak, and boop, off to the right it goes. Paying off kickers, Ken.
I freaking love this conference, man. You guys
I love that I feel like I've gotten to experience this with you, Ken, the transition, and I feel so good about it. I don't feel like where the hell
for you too.
Where the hell were y'all? Y'all were the Big 12. What was it called?
It's Big 12.
Oh man, y'all didn't get this kind of talk in the Big 12, did you?
No.
Hey, let me into the meeting, would you?
Kansas State, they dinged us. Kansas State was able to push back on us. But for the most part, Oklahoma ran the Big 12. We had 16 conference championships out of the 29 years, I think, that it was in existence,
That's
something like that. Or not 29. Close to it, though.
Well,
so we owned the Big 12.
I don't know that anybody owns.
But we don't own the SEC by any means.
Maybe Bama. I don't know, but
Bama and Georgia.
yeah, I don't know about that. Wait a minute. We're the current SEC champions. Sure, we'll take a little ownership. All right, that's sports on the News Talk station. It's 17 minutes after 3 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WT. And like I say, open phone lines, whatever you'd like to discuss. We have reached peak dumb when it comes to political analysis of what's happening at the White House. Folks, I don't know what to tell you. The Trump derangement syndrome has reached a point where it's insanity. I will pull some good news out of what is the insanity, and that is this. If the shutdown was being blamed on the Republicans, it's all that hashtag Never CNN would talk about. If the shutdown was to be blamed on the political right, conservatives in Washington, D.C., it's all that MSNBC or ABC or NBC or CBS or any of the other alphabet soup networks would be talking about. If there was blame to be placed at the feet of the Republican Party regarding the government shutdown, I assure you that those that hate Trump and hate the conservatives in Washington would be going after them, hammer and tongs, and would not let up. But they're not talking about it. They're not talking about it because they know dadgum good well who is to blame. It's the Democrats. And as I said late in the show yesterday, you need not go any further than this. 13 times now, I guess it's 13 times now, we have a vote on the record to either continue the government funding at its current Biden-era levels, which is spending way too much, by the way, and we don't make enough of this. We're spending way too much money in the federal government right now. We're spending money at COVID-level era, the COVID-era levels. You know, pre-COVID, the government budget, I think, was like $4.5 trillion, and now it's like over $6 trillion or $7 trillion, and we're not shrinking it back to pre-COVID levels anytime soon, and I wonder why not. But that's kind of another subject for another. It's not as if we are under some form of austerity measures when it comes to our government budget here. But 13 times now a vote has happened, and 13 times the Republicans, minus Rand Paul, have voted to reopen the government or keep the government open. And 13 times the Democrats, minus a couple of common sense Democrats like John Fetterman, have voted to keep the government shut down. There's only one political party to blame. There's only one group of people that's keeping the government shut down, and that's the Democrats. And the mainstream press knows that, and so they choose to focus on other things. And inexplicably, they have chosen their area of focus to be construction at the White House. Inexplicably. The new thing today is to take a question and answer that happened earlier today at the presidential press conference with Caroline Leavitt out of context. And now the Democrats are running around stating that Donald Trump's number one priority is construction at the White House. Why is that? We've got a government shutdown going on. We got health care going on. We got this going on. We got that going on. We got all these things going on. And all he cares about. No, and apparently that's all you care about. All you care about is the East Wing of the White House. By a show of hands, how many people have been to the East Wing of the White House? Nobody's hand went up. Huh. Interesting. I don't know what to tell you except that they are liars. They are lying liars who don't know anything but to lie. And the lies will continue throughout the course of the weekend. All day long they've been doing this. That Donald Trump said his main priority is this construction. No, that's not what happened. I'll play you the full clip in just a moment just to try to get a sense of reasonable thought back into the discussion. Take your telephone calls, as mentioned, at 615-737-9986. It's the Matt Murphy Show. Love having you with us on a First Amendment Freestyle Friday, 21 after the hour. All right, friends, October means seed season. Now, what does that mean? Well, I didn't really know what it meant until I talked to the pros at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. It's the time for you to get all the seed and fertilizer and pre-emergent down for the fall and winter months to get your property ready for the spring. I mean, right, your property will look good. Your lawn and your landscaping will look tip-top if you do this now. Now, you can enjoy green grass over the winter months, too, with their proven turf technology, their tall fescue blend and premium starter fertilizer, which will not be found at the big box stores. It's only found at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. They offer the best seed at the best price around. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply is also the go-to place to get your lawn looking its best. The best-looking lawns in the neighborhood start in the fall months and in the winter months, and it doesn't take too much effort or too much money in order to do this. Because, as I mentioned, October, the best time to sow cool season grass like tall fescue and rye. Professional advice, know-how at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Go where the pros go. Go to Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Seven, count them, locations. In Nashville, Bellevue, Murfreesboro, Brentwood, Mower, Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, and Franklin. Stop by online at DickensSupply.com. That's DickensSupply.com.
looks like Canada's decided to pull that ad that angered President Trump. We'll tell you about that at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I saw that advertisement. Thank you, Ken Weaver, for the news tease. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes. 615-737-9986.
Is it advertisement or
Advertisement? I don't mind advertisement. I kind of like advertisement.
I call them commercials.
Yeah, either way. Either, neither, neither. I don't care. Let's call the whole thing off. By the way, you might be getting that movie tonight. That's a good flick with a couple of nice fall scenes in it, and I don't think you've seen it. The Matt Murphy movie Mayhem is ongoing this evening, and Jackson
I thought
Williams.
we were doing modern this week.
Modern?
Yeah.
When did we say that?
Because I'm giving you a pretty brand spanking new one.
Oh, are you now? Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I might not be giving you the same. I don't know. What are you talking about? Modern. Have you seen the fabulous feature film starring Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, When Harry Met Sally?
No.
Why did you say it that way, Jackson? And why
I think
did
it's
you?
a romantic comedy.
Why did Ken Weaver laugh? It's a great film. It's a great flick.
Give me one I like.
I took her to a place that wasn't human. I made her meow. You made a woman meow? Remember that? It's a great scene. They're at a baseball. Him and his buddies at a baseball cage. You wouldn't believe this chick. I took her out the other night. We went back to my house, made love. I took her to a place that wasn't human. I made her meow. What? And then he keeps talking. He's like, you made a woman meow? My point is, blah, 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 blah. You made a woman meow? That's great. That's good stuff. Maybe, Jackson, depending on your, I think I like it. I think I might go with it based on your reaction, Jackson. You would like it.
You guys are going to start making each other watch movies that stink. That's what you two are going to do.
I've only given the man classics. Ken, name the movies that I've given you. I need to start writing yours down.
Goodfellas.
That's a good one.
Classic.
Good one. Yes,
Secret Life of Pets.
That was an animated week, and no, you gave I did give you the Secret Life of Pets. You gave me Toy Story 28 or something.
Honestly, Secret Life of Pets might be my favorite one I've watched so far.
Say what else? What else have I given you?
The Shining.
The Shining, classic.
That's a good.
I didn't like it.
No, you didn't care for it, Ken.
Silence of the Lambs.
That's a great one.
Award-winning classic.
Is that it?
I think so. I think we've done 4 weeks. You gave me Us. You gave me Toy Story 4. You gave me Scream 3. And I can't remember the other one. Oh, the Late Shift.
Yeah, you got to keep a record of these.
We do. Thank you, Ken.
You're
you're right.
like this week's movie.
Now that I think about it, I'm giving you gold, and you're giving me garbage over here.
I'm giving you my favorite movie of 2024. This week.
You're giving me a bunch of trash over here, and I'm giving you gems.
Out of all the movies I saw in 2024, the one I'm giving you this week was my favorite.
Oh, that's right. I was going to give you. I remember the one I was going to give you. We were doing modern. Thank you for reminding me. You get your last dip into the horror genre before we move on from it, because I'm going to give you Late Night with the Devil.
Yours wasn't horror. It takes place in October though, and I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on Monday.
Are you going to tell me what it is? You going to go ahead and peel the curtain? No, you're going to wait.
You told me, so I'll tell you.
Okay.
Saturday Night.
Oh, is that the flick about Saturday Night Live? I've not seen it.
It is so good.
Like that.
It was my favorite movie I saw all of last year.
Okay, about the first season of Saturday Night Live.
Just the first episode.
First episode of Saturday Night Live.
It is the 90 minutes leading up to the first episode, and it takes you through everything.
Oh, that's cool.
Excellent.
It is. I'm actually watching it tonight.
All right.
Oh, wow.
I dig that. Ken, have you seen Late Night with the Devil?
It's one of my favorites of all time. I love it.
It is cool.
And I love the old school way they did it, man.
Oh, right. No, because they wanted it to be like found footage and, man. And it's creepy and weird. You don't really know what's going on. You don't know what's real and what. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And it blends a lot of different horror genres.
Yeah.
Like psychological. You got some exorcism in there. You got some gore going on toward the end.
It's like you're watching the Johnny Carson show. I mean, and you remember whenever they would go to commercial,
Right.
same kind of little bumpers and things. I freaking loved it.
Oh, yeah. We'll be right back. The little card slide or whatever it was. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. You'll love it, Jackson. Or, well, you don't like horror. You don't like old things. Oh, yeah, you'll hate it, Jackson. Yeah, that's great. 615-737-9986. Time for the news on Super Talk 99.7. When we come back, by the way. I'll tell you what we're going to do when we come back. When we come back. It's time for the news, boys.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Ontario now announcing it's going to pull that ad featuring former President Reagan criticizing trade tariffs. We get more from ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
It will still run over the weekend, but they're saying in a statement that it has reached its intended audience in the United States at the highest levels. And I think you can assume that that means Donald Trump, because of course he saw it and it did set him off, and he declared that he was cutting off trade talks with Canada.
President Trump ordering the deployment of the world's largest aircraft carrier to the waters off South America as part of a significant military buildup with increasing tensions with Venezuela. The Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group includes several guided missile destroyers, a nuclear submarine, and F-35 fighter aircraft. Right now in Tennessee, the ATF says it's completed that on-scene investigation of the deadly AES explosion in McEwen. Special agent in charge in Nashville, Jamie Van Vliet, says they know where it started, but not how.
They have developed multiple scientific hypotheses regarding what caused this tragedy. While our physical work here has ended, our investigation is far from over.
They will continue in the lab now to determine the cause of the explosion. That could take at least a year. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, drivers, looks like we got an injury crash in Brentwood. It's Old Hickory Boulevard at Valley View Road, Seven Springs Way. Then on I-40 over by the airport, right shoulder block going eastbound at Briley Parkway. And I'm still seeing significant slowdowns if you are northbound and southbound 65. That is in between Goodlettsville and Millersville. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, folks. Matt Murphy for Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. I want you to write this telephone number down that I'm about to give you because I want you to use that telephone number and schedule an appointment with Grace Point, particularly if you're not feeling well, because you don't have to wait for days or weeks on end in order to get into Grace Point Healthcare. Even for new patients, they can see you oftentimes same day or next day. Grace Point Healthcare is modern medicine, meaning they use the modern advancements in medical technology, but they do it the old-fashioned way. What does that mean? That means that the doctor-patient relationship is sacrosanct at Grace Point Healthcare. It means they don't allow pharmaceutical companies or insurance companies to get in the way between you and your doctor. They mean that they want to treat naturally whenever possible. They want to get to the root of the problem and solve the issue as opposed to just medicate the issue. And there's a difference. Trust me on this. Grace Point is also a veteran-owned practice, military veteran-owned practice, which I also love, located in the heart of Franklin and easy to get to within the sound of my voice. Let's make the call. 599-6868. That's 599-6868. Ask about the basic Smart Care plan when you make the call that can be paid through your HSA. They're all about helping you, the patient, get to a better and more healthy life with Grace Point Healthcare. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you for being around with us, whatever time you're able to give us. We're certainly appreciative of it. It's 39 after the hour. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, it is Fry J time with our legal man, Jay St. Clair. Get your legal questions in on the Super Text line, 615-737-9986. You can also call them in. You're welcome to do that in the 4 o'clock hour. You'll have to wait between now and then if you call right now. But you may call right now if you want to challenge me or talk to us about any subject of your choosing, as it is First Amendment Freestyle Friday. Before we get to the phones, real quick, I just want to it's been my word of the week. I think it's because Brother Brian Wilson is filling in for Dan Mandis, and it was a turn of phrase I first heard from Brian Wilson: disabuse you of this notion. I always love it. Disabuse you of this notion. In other words, you're wrong, and I'm going to tell you how. So liberals are running around. They think they have a talking point with this. The ballroom is really the president's main priority, right? And they depend on the stupidity of the receiver of the message. They depend on the individual receiving the message to be as dumb as a box of hammers when they take what Caroline Leavitt said out of context and pretend that Donald Trump doesn't care about anything else other than the East Room, bulldozing that, and building this ballroom. First off, it doesn't comport with reality. Tell me the more aggressive, energetic president of the United States of America in my lifetime than Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump has a full day today at the White House. Isn't he leaving tonight to go on his Asia trip? And he's coming back next Thursday from his Asia trip. He's going to do Halloween on the White House lawn. I mean, think about what he has done. Think about the executive orders signed. Think about the effort that he has put into. I'll give you an example. Do we talk about the southern border anymore? The leftist in Washington, D.C. tried to tell us that there was nothing that they could do about the southern border unless and until they had congressional legislation helping them out. What happened with that talking point? We just flushed that right down the old commode, down the Rio Grande. Are you kidding me? So, southern border, dealing with illegal aliens here in the United States of America, dealing with trade agreements all across the world, tariffs and whatnot, putting out conflict fires to the tune of 8 of them now, various conflicts in various stages of unrest that Donald Trump has managed to handle. Hell, the Israeli-Hamas ceasefire that holds, tenuous as it may be, it is holding. And the mainstream media gives the man no credit for any of it. They give him no credit for the inflationary rates. They give him no credit for bringing the economy back from the Biden brink. They give him no credit for any of the actions that he's made in 10 months. In addition to legislative action that he single-handedly pushed across the finish line in the form of the big, beautiful bill, giving us the tax breaks in a permanent fashion that we were enjoying temporarily because of Donald Trump's first term. So this idea that he is not able to juggle 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different things at once is absurd. We see differently. Obviously we do. We see it. You can't lie your way out of the truth. Yet the political left wants to pretend that he's not energetic. They want to pretend that he's not getting things done. They want to pretend that he is not fulfilling campaign promises. Well, obviously he is. So let me give you this in context. Let's see, a little audio video, please. This is Caroline Leavitt from the White House earlier today. This is the full question, the full answer. And we'll talk about exactly what they will focus on. The leftist media is already focusing on the last portion of her answer, but it's important. She was answering the question asked of her, Caroline Levitt, from earlier today in the White House.
Go ahead. Yes.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you. Thank you.
In addition to the ballroom and the Rose Garden
I'm going into
patio,
the back. Sorry. Go ahead.
in addition to the ballroom and the Rose Garden patio, is the president looking at any other renovations or significant kind of projects here at the White House?
Not to my knowledge, no. But he's a builder at heart, clearly, and so his heart and his mind is always churning about how to improve things here on the White House grounds. But at this moment in time, of course, the ballroom is really the president's main priority.
All right, you hear the question asked and the question answered. I have the transcript for those that need it. Let's go to the transcript. I pulled this on my phone just to make sure that we had it, just in case there were any questions about it. The reporter, in addition to the ballroom and the Rose Garden patio, is the president looking at any other renovations or significant kind of projects here at the White House? Answer. Not to my knowledge, no, but he's a builder at heart, clearly, and so his heart and his mind are always churning about how to improve things here on the White House grounds. But at this moment in time, of course, the ballroom is really the president's main priority. So now liberals are taking the last portion of that clip out of context, and they're playing it singularly, absent the question.
Moment in time, of course, the ballroom is really the president's main priority.
And they're suggesting that of everything going on, oh, he's not worried about the shutdown. The ballroom's his main priority. He's not worried about foreign policy. The ballroom's his main priority. He's not worried about trade with Canada. The ballroom's his main priority. The leftist media in this country continues to act as if we cannot absorb media from other sources and recognize where they are lying to us. They cannot get over the fact that they can't do this anymore. There was a time when they had all the cards and they played them regularly. And conservatives or even libertarians in Washington, D.C. never, ever got a fair shake with the mainstream media. We don't depend on the mainstream media any longer. And gone is the time that they could pretend that what they're trying to vomit out is the truth. But yet they still attempt to do it, and we see through it, and we see how nasty and evil they truly are. It is the height of nastiness and dishonesty what they're trying to do. And it's a small example, but it's an important one. 615-737-9986. See, I was going to the phones, and then they all went away. I don't know what happened there. Give us a call if you so desire, and I'll get you on the phone. I had Sally writes in and says, I don't like to think about the effort that Donald Trump's put into his second term as president. It only reminds me of the lack of effort Congress has put in. True enough. They have razor thin. I don't know necessarily why. I think that Mike Johnson would suggest Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, who's done a fair job as Speaker of the House. I would give him passing grades as Speaker of the House, particularly considering the meager levels that he enjoys the majority. The Senate, not so much, but they have their own set of issues. And I'm going to talk more on that with Tim Burchett coming up in the 6 o'clock hour because we have Congressman Burchett in. We actually conducted an interview with the congressman earlier today, and we're going to rack that for you in the 6 o'clock hour
We're going
tonight.
to it now?
We are not going to it now, sir.
I'm ready.
Are you? That does not mean that we get to go home, Jackson. If we racked
So if we start playing it now, we just head home? Ken Weaver, pack your stuff.
No, let's see. If we racked it now, Jackson, we'd have to come in on the back end. You see?
Are you sure?
I mean, I don't think we could rack it 6 different times. Or maybe we could.
Let's just try it.
Super Talk 99.7. That was me. That was me introducing our segment with Congressman Burchett. That was good. I enjoyed doing that earlier today. We did it from the podcast studio.
My first time getting to meet the congressman in person.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I've met him a few times, but it was the first time that I've had an in-person interview with him. And I asked the question, just a little tease, little tease for y'all. I asked the congressman if he would accept an appointment to fulfill the term of U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn. And he did not shy away from an answer, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I was trying to find, and I've gotten too many comments on top of it. Someone said that Donald Trump was going through dementia on the super text line. And I was trying to find that. But, oh, here it is. 1834 writes in and says, he's clearly suffering from dementia, and if you can't see that, you are blind. Does he have any ideas on how he's going to fix our broken healthcare system? Well, 1834, the political left had all of the ideas about how to fix the broken healthcare system in 2010, didn't they? I thought that Obamacare was going to solve the issue. You don't remember that? I most certainly do. Don't come at me, dude. I'll come right back at you. We were told by the political left and their minions like you, 1834, that Obamacare was the solution. What the hell happened to that, pal? I thought Obamacare was everything that we could ever want for in a healthcare solution. Oh, by the way, when did it become the government's job to solve your healthcare issues? When did that happen? When did healthcare become a right? Here's a hot tip. Taking a portion of someone else's life can never be a right. No. The healthcare system's not broken. The health insurance industry's broken. We have the greatest healthcare on planet Earth, pal. And if you don't, just call me. 615-737-9986. I'd love to talk to you about this. I'd love to find out why it was that Obamacare did not work. I'm sure that you'll figure out a reason that it was the Republicans' fault, despite the fact that the liberals sold Obamacare on the idea that this was going to be the solution that we were all looking for. And it just made the situation worse. So if you admit, I'll tell you what, I'll make a compromise with you, 1834. You admit the failures of Obamacare, and I'll tell you what the Republican plan is. How about that? You want to know, does he have any ideas on how he's going to fix our broken healthcare system? Well, my goodness gracious, he didn't break it, did he? The Democrats broke it. Y'all broke it. Obamacare broke it. We didn't break it, man. It was already broken. No. Y'all told us in 2010 that this was the solution we'd been looking for. And you just got to pass it to read it. That's what Nancy Pelosi said. You've got to pass the legislation in order to read it. What a hag. Hey, Thomas, how are you?
All right. How are you doing?
I'm great, Thomas. Thank you for calling in.
I wanted to comment about the government shutdown.
All right.
And solution to it. However, I'm actually more interested in what you were just talking about. The healthcare issues. Since I'm a physician, we don't have a healthcare system in this country, and we never have. Europe, socialized medicine has a healthcare system. We have a disease treatment system, and we have the best disease treatment system that has ever existed in the history of the world. You can do anything you want to, regardless of how it affects your health in this country, because we have freedom of choice. And when you get sick, we will do whatever we have to cure your disease and treat it. Now, we don't want a healthcare system. What everyone is trying to do in Obamacare and insurance companies and the federal government is push us to a healthcare system. In a healthcare system, we take care of you when you're healthy. When you get sick, you're just SOL. In Great Britain, if you go on dialysis at age 50, they take you off of it. And you die.
And they and what happens to physicians in the socialized system of healthcare?
Well, all the ones from Canada tried to move here.
That's right. You know why? Because they couldn't make any money up there.
Couldn't make a living.
Right. Thomas, I gotta put you on hold for just a second. I'll let you finish up in a moment, but I've got to get to the break here. Wayne, we'll get to you as well. 615-737-9986. It's the Murphy Show on Super Talk. What is up, guys? I've been listening to my man Dan Mandis and Chad Benson, both of them talking about contours for some time now, and I'm all excited that I get to tell you about it as well. Folks, I want you to get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and write this telephone number I'm going to give you down, and I want you to use it because, if you eat right, if you exercise, you probably will be in pretty decent shape, but the reality is that sometimes we need a little help, and I know that I was right there with you. My friends at Contours in Cool Springs are here to help both women and men lose body fat and so much more. It's their ultra slim body contouring, which guarantees you'll lose 2 inches or that first treatment is free. And it's only $99 for that first treatment. I went through it and lost over 2.5 inches. It's non-invasive, does not hurt, and the results are instantaneous. I've gone through the process. And friends, it works. It worked with me, and I know it'll work with you. They also do facial treatments. They're revitalizing, and their red light therapy will tighten your skin and restore your natural glow. Contours, remember, is both for men and women. You can even go as a couple. Go to ContoursLLC.com. That's ContoursLLC.com, or give them a call today. Here's that number that I promised you, 615-236-9960. 615-236-9960. Join me in this journey. I'll be going back next Tuesday, and I hope that I see you at Contours LLC.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Tennessee, Second Harvest Food Bank is telling News Channel 5 more than 121,000 families here in Middle Tennessee could lose their SNAP benefits starting next week due to the government shutdown. Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac reports local food banks are trying to fill any gap if necessary for these families.
At the East Nashville Care Market, they say they've seen a 20% jump in people needing assistance since this summer, and they are expecting that number to go up. They're bracing for a sudden increase if federal aid stops next month. Volunteers at the Care Market are preparing to extend hours and finding more donors to keep up with the rising demand if needed.
President Trump has directed the deployment of the USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, to the waters off South America, marking a major military escalation amid rising tensions with Venezuela. The Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group includes multiple guided missile destroyers, a nuclear-powered submarine, and advanced F-35 fighter jets. And right now in Middle Tennessee, investigators in the deadly AES explosion in McEwen say they've figured out where the blast has started, but still don't know how it happened. Channel 4's Dryden Quigley.
In total, it was somewhere between 24 and 28,000 pounds of explosives that were set off.
Which is the area where the explosion originated, on a lower floor production level. And they have developed multiple scientific hypotheses regarding what caused this tragedy. While our physical work here has ended, our investigation is far from over.
They said it was too soon to speculate on any of these hypotheses, but they said their work is going to continue in a lab. In addition to figuring out why this blast happened, they're still working to identify 2 of the people that are still missing. They're hoping that maybe they can do that over the next few weeks. But again, they said it takes months, maybe even a year, to get an answer like this as to why this happened.
Yeah, 16 people killed in a wrongful death lawsuit has been filed against the company. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, showing a crash in Antioch. It's going to be 24 westbound as you're approaching Haywood Lane. Then by the airport, accident right shoulder block 40 eastbound at Briley Parkway East. I'm Ken Weaver.
All right, I promised 1 more minute for Thomas. He held through, and then we'll get to Fry Jay right on the other side of that. But we got to go quick. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 7 minutes after 4 o'clock. Welcome to your Friday afternoon. Hope everyone's doing well, getting ready for the big weekend. Hope everybody's got weekend plans. That doesn't include, I mean, no offense to Pumpkin Fest, but Franklin, Tennessee Pumpkin Fest, I'm not coming anywhere near that joint. I'll be doing, you know what? I'll have my own festival in front of my television watching football. How about that? 615-737-9986. Once again, Fry Jay on the way in just a moment. But, Thomas, I wanted to give you an opportunity to finish up. Didn't want to rush you, buddy.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
What scares me about the future as a physician is not being a physician in whatever the system is. It's being a patient. If we get to where the liberals want us to be, we will have a one-payer system run by the government, just like Europe. And then the important thing becomes ethically the common good. 50% of Medicare expenditures occur in the last 6 months of life. So the solution to this in that system is, well, we're not going to treat you when you get sick any longer because it's too expensive. And that's where we're headed. And I'm not sure that we're not so far along the process that
we can't. Yeah, that's my fear too.
Inevitability that it can't be redone.
It's my fear too. But you're dead on, Thomas. Thank you for the telephone call, and I'm glad I held you through. You're dead on that these countries that liberals like to tout as being so advanced with regard to medical care, this socialized medical care, single-payer medical care, Canada, Britain, they limit care for the elderly based on what they consider, from the state's perspective, the efficacy of the care involved. In other words, it doesn't matter what amount of money you have to pay. They have limited resources because they cramp those resources because they only pay their doctors and their nurses so much money. So you're limiting the number of people that are going into that field. You're only paying them X amount of dollars. You are demanding of their time that they see patients that they perhaps would not otherwise see. So you're taking free market competition out of the process. You're putting further demands on an already limited supply of doctors. And as a result, those doctors don't have an ability to see everyone, especially the specialists. So they have to pick and choose those who they will see. And oftentimes these choices go to government-run tribunals that decide that your grandma's too old or infirm to get the treatment that she needs to survive. So they ultimately sentence her to a death sentence because they got to protect some other people. It doesn't have to be that way. Doesn't have to be that way. It is 10 minutes after 4 o'clock. Y'all excited? I'm excited. It's Fry Jay.
Good morning, Americans. It's Fry Jay.
I mean, it's not morning. But gosh darn it, it's Fry Jay. It is time, friends. He is our legal correspondent. He's the smartest legal man I've ever met in my life. He is my golfing buddy. He is a great Tennessee man. He's our best friend. And our guy on Friday is Jay St. Clair. Jay! I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
You know, man, if I were any better, I would be Coach Tony V.
Uh-oh.
Did you see the interview he finally gave?
I did not see it. I didn't see it. Jackson, have you seen it?
I did, and I teared up.
Did you?
Yeah, I that's very well said, Jackson. I will confess I did too. It's just that good.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's a tearjerker.
What did he say, Jay?
All the right things. So somebody summarized it, and it's just perfect, Coach V. I mean, humble, honest, genuine. It's just all the right things.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he didn't make the decision until Wednesday. And, you know, the fans showed up for the scrimmage game on Tuesday.
Right.
And he talked about that. And he said, you know, and he said that y'all may think that didn't matter or that you failed or whatever. But he said it mattered. I will remember that for the rest of my life.
Well, that's good.
I mean, it was just incredible. And he talked about that he's a ball for life. And he said he sure hopes that this doesn't put him in the Lane Kiffin category, which was very funny. Very funny. And he said he's always going to be connected to UT. And he said, realtors, quit calling me. I'm not selling my house. I love Tennessee. And he said that Tennessee's got two of the greatest entertainers ever. And you know me, I don't keep up with pop culture, but one of them, I guess, is a male singer who's a big time, who's associated with UT. Jackson will know his name. I don't.
Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen. Oh yeah, wasn't really sure who that was. But then he said, and then the other one is that lady that's dating that tight end.
That lady.
Now I related to that.
That's pretty good. You know that lady. I forget her name. Whoever she is.
Right, dating that tight end.
Yeah, it's my understanding she sings on occasion.
Well, it was just spot on.
That's
absolutely
good.
Spot on. And yeah.
Well, look,
good for him. I mean, after now if he'd left to go to another school, it would be a totally different deal. Totally different. But I mean, come on! You win the College World Series, and then the major league, the show calls you and says, "Coach, we want you to be the first person in the history of the world."
Never happened before either.
To go from being a college baseball coach to managing a pro baseball team, he couldn't turn it down. And he said, and this is how sweet it was, man. He said, look, this didn't have anything to do with Tennessee. This didn't have anything to do with the Giants. This was a very selfish decision on my part that I felt like I had to make, and it's the right decision.
Well, now you're going to make me feel good about Tennessee.
I mean, it's just great.
The Vols.
I mean, it's just great.
Well, no, that's good. I mean, and I understand that the sting. I did not appreciate, I suppose, the sting that this impacted the Tennessee Volunteer faithful with. But Jackson taught me quite quickly that this one hurt a little bit. But I think as the sting wears off, I think, and I feel like Jackson's getting to that point in this, that you recognize the inability that he had to say no. I mean, it was just, if you are a competitive person and you are in a field like he's in, I mean, I don't know how you say no to that.
Well, I guess that's right. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, right? We don't know what the difference is between coaching at college and the pro level, but he does.
That's right.
He gets every bit of it. And for him, it was the right thing, and it didn't have anything to do with Tennessee. You know how people are these days. They're trying to say that the AD didn't treat him right.
Oh, whatever. I don't believe that for a second.
NIL money, and he said, no, it didn't have anything to do with it.
This
was a very selfish decision.
Man, that's good. That's
that
what
I'm making for myself, and it was the right decision.
It reminds me of, and everybody knows the story, and non-Alabama fans don't really like to think about it along these lines. But let me tell you, it's a great story. I mean, when Bear Bryant had created something at Kentucky, and then he went to A&M, and he built something at A&M,
right?
And
Mama called.
I mean, I don't, and that's it. I don't know what else you're asking me. Mama called, and when Mama calls, you go home. That's what happened. Yeah. So, I mean, in this case, it wasn't Mama calling, but it was an opportunity that to show off what you can do at the highest level. I mean, you're going to the show.
Right. They use white balls for batting practice. All the girls have long legs and brains.
You can't go to the show with fungus on your shower shoes. You got fungus on your shower shoes, you're a slob. You win 20 in the show, you can grow the fungus back on your shower shoes, and the press will say you're colorful.
What movie is that?
I can guarantee you a rainout. I can guarantee you a rainout.
You've never seen, hold on a second, Jackson Williams.
Yes, sir.
We could sit here and do this for an hour.
We could do this for an hour, and we have on the golf course. Have you never seen Bull Durham?
I have not.
You hit the ball. You get a free steak.
I held it like an egg, and he scrambled that son.
Dang, anything that gets out of here like that, I'll have a flight.
I haven't even seen the movie. That one was funny.
He tells him it's a catcher-pitcher relationship, Jackson. And Crash Davis, who is played by Kevin Costner, tells Nuke LaLoosh, the ball's an egg. hold it like an egg. At one point, he says, hold it like an egg. And then later on, a guy just destroys the ball. I think that might have been the time where he told him what pitch was coming. And he said, I held it like an egg. And he goes, yeah, and he scrambled that. At one point, I'm sorry, I don't mean to do all this because people get mad at me when I do, but I can't help myself. Jay, he told him, he tells him he didn't want to throw the curveball, and so he goes, okay, here.
Hey, here comes the heater.
Yeah, here comes the heater. And when you speak of me,
speak well.
Speak well.
God, you gotta hit that ball like he knew what was coming.
He did know. What?
He did know.
I told him. And then they cut. He's shaking that head. Jackson, we just picked your movie for this weekend. If you've never seen Bull Durham, you got to see Bull Durham, man.
I thought it's Late Night with the Devil, though.
I don't know.
We can do this one next week.
Oh, well, we'll take it under advisement for later on. Jay, I've got a quick question for you, and folks are lining up for Friday, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986, either via text or telephone call, and Jay will answer any and all of your legal questions. And I don't think it's too much of a curveball for you, Jay, because we've discussed this in the past. But the particulars of why I ask, there are many in the mainstream media that love to use this language. They love to call people Nazis, and they're calling people white supremacists. And they've done this with a man in the White House named Stephen Miller.
Right.
Who is one of the advisors to the President of the United States. And they have really focused in on him over the last couple of weeks.
Right.
And there are several that have encouraged Stephen Miller to sue the media. And you have taught me something, and I want to make sure that I still understand it like I should.
No, I know. I just saw your tweet about it, so I think I know what's coming.
If I'm a public figure and I want to sue someone because I say that they've defamed me in some way or slandered me in some way, do I not have to demonstrate that they've actually caused me harm?
You do, and it's not just public figures. Anybody suing for defamation has to prove damage. I almost responded to your tweet. I said, dang, man, where did you get your article?
Well, I got it from Jay St. Clair on the golf course is where I got
Well, because, it was a certain non-compete case where I said from the very beginning, they can't prove any damages. But here's the little bit of twist to that, man. In a defamation case, it's monetary damages for sure. You have to show that he's lost some money, and that's the guy. Remember the guy, the Afghanistan guy that was getting people out of Afghanistan, and it was CNN up there that said that he was, his blood money, and he was breaking the law or whatever. Well, he sued him and got like a $20 million judgment,
right? Because
he could prove it damaged his business. And so, yes, you have to prove damages, but in a defamation case, part of it is economic damages, financial loss, but the other part's mental anguish. You could sue just for getting your feelings hurt because you got called bad names.
Right. Well,
but yeah, it would be hard for him to do that, and I would strongly, this is what I tell people about lawsuits. They're kind of like marriages. They're real easy to get into and real hard to get out of.
Well, and there's, and you've taught me this, or the case that I think you were referencing there taught me something, is that sometimes, regardless of the damages and regardless of the harm and regardless of the winnability of a particular case, sometimes people just sue out of spite.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's people with a lot of money.
Yeah, they just get mad.
And the person who filed that lawsuit, that was absolutely a spite fence, no question about it. And you see that a lot. The closest, I don't do divorce cases, but the closest I get to divorce cases, man, are non-competes, where somebody's left a company and gone to work for a competitor, because that gets real personal.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Spite deal. A spite deal, and no one on the other side ever stopped to think about, can we prove any damages?
Right.
And then we finally asked them the question, and they looked. They had a deer in the eye, a headlights look. Oh Lord, we hadn't even thought about that.
Damn
we hadn't been treating this like a real lawsuit.
Right. We're just angry.
We just want to be a burr under your saddle.
Well, I have it on good authority that they won that lawsuit, Jay.
You know, I've had a lot of funny things happen in my career, but that's one of the top 10. First time, Jackson, the way this lawsuit ended, somebody had sued some people on the other side, and I was involved with the defense of it. And it was a terribly weak case, and we're headed towards trial. So one day we just get this letter from the other side to the judge, person who filed a lawsuit, said, well, this has happened and that's happened. And so we've obviously proven our case and we've won. There's nothing else to be proven. So we're dropping our case.
So the person that sued and started the whole thing that says that they want to go to trial and that they've been wronged and they want all this money, they send a letter to the judge going, Judge, we don't need to go to court anymore because we've basically proven what we wanted to prove.
We're declaring victory. I'm taking my ball and going home.
Okay. Samuel, we'll get to you in just a moment. Kyle, you too. A number of questions on the Super Text line, and we're going to get to all of them on Friday on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about Eurofix. Eurofix is the go-to spot for all European auto repair in Middle Tennessee. It's as simple as that. One of the marks of a good parent, okay, is that they warn their kids about danger. They warn them who to trust and who to avoid and how to make smarter choices. Friends, I'm here to warn you about danger. There are some disreputable auto repair shops around. Eurofix, not one of them. In one case, as a matter of fact, and Aaron Stokes has told this story, that Eurofix chose to write a check to a customer for $5,500, a refund check. And I'm like, who does that? Well, Eurofix does that because they police themselves. They believe in honesty and integrity all the day long. Eurofix makes quality repairs at below dealer pricing and has since 1999. Get a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection. Get a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty and all repair work. Eurofix also has rental cars available with every appointment. Stay on the road with Eurofix. Call Eurofix today at 844-EUROFIX. That's 844-EUROFIX, or visit myeurofix.com. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you about this incredible deal that's going on today and tomorrow at Genesis Diamonds. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity. If you're thinking about a home run gift for the Christmas season, the holiday season in your family, what about that Rolex watch that your husband/wife, father/mother have always talked about they've wanted? Genesis is currently hosting an epic pre-owned luxury Rolex event featuring a stunning new selection of these hard-to-find watches: Submariners, Daytonas, Sky Dwellers, Pepsis, Batmans, men's and ladies. At this event, you can find even never-worn fresh models that people wait years for. During this event, you can take advantage of special pricing. Plus, they have 60 months zero-interest financing available on approved credit. And listen, with the purchase of any luxury pre-owned Rolex at this event, today and tomorrow, Genesis will give you a pair of 4-carat lab-grown diamond stud earrings of the highest quality at no cost to you. That's right, absolutely free, free, free. If you're already a Rolex owner, you're invited to trade your Rolex in or come in and see if you can. You will get top dollar from their buyers at Genesis Diamonds. This Friday, this Saturday, only at Genesis, your home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes, Green Hills, and Cool Springs.
U.S. stocks rallied because inflation came in lower than expected in September. We'll tell you about that at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, it is 4:28. We've got Samuel, we've got Kyle, we've got Larry, we've got Kathy on the line already. We've got a lot of you calling in. We've got a lot of you asking your questions on the Super Text line. It is officially Fry J with Jay St. Clair. But Jay, we have a special questioner that wants to ask you a question real quick here. And I don't know the nature of the question, but I think the person asking the question is known as Y2J, a.k.a.
Let's not use names here.
Okay, let's not use names. Mr. Anonymous Questioner, your question for Mr. St. Clair, please.
So this is a purely hypothetical question, Jay, all right?
Yes, sir.
Let's say a certain executive producer of a certain afternoon news talk show went to a poker game with some NBA players and his Italian friends. I have two questions. Number one, how much prison time is he going to be looking at? Number two, how good of a lawyer are you?
I can answer the second part of that.
That story is so wild.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Look,
X-ray vision glasses.
They had those.
Those were my idea.
You have to have special cards for those. But the one that fit, Jay, I said as a guy that plays poker, the big fear going into these private poker games is that they're rigged. I mean, that's what most people that walk into these rooms fear about private poker games.
I never would have thought of that.
And I never knew that there were tables that you could see through underneath. You can see through the felt and read the cards on the table. And that's that's fascinating.
What, is there like a mirror underneath the felt that reflects the card?
No, they have. It's an I don't understand how it works entirely, but it's an X-ray that goes through it reads through the felt and can read the card, the ink on the cards. As your cards are sitting face down on the table, they can read what they are.
And then how does the player know what they are?
So then somebody in some room somewhere else has to figure out a way to let the players that are,
so maybe they got earpieces.
Earpieces or signals or something or another. It's fascinating. Just fascinating. Weird and fascinating.
Let's just stay at the craps table.
Well, that's exactly right. They examine. Hey, look, they examine those dice.
No, you're not going to get any loaded dice at a casino craps game.
Have you ever? I know you have because I know how you are. I've watched some documentaries on how people would load dice. And
I've never looked into that.
Oh, Jay, if they can just get the weight, just micrograms,
right?
It will change the dynamics of that die to the point that odds will turn in their favor. It's fascinating, fascinating. Let's see. I'll tell you what, Samuel, we're going to get you and Kyle and Larry and Kathy in just a moment, plus all of you on the telephone, 615-737-9986. It's Friday on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. U.S. stocks rallied because inflation came in lower than expected in September, but the report adds to a growing concern about the affordability of elder care and child care, with costs rising above the rate of inflation of 3%. KPMG Chief Economist Diane Swan.
Families are having to make difficult choices about the hours they work because they don't have childcare or access to childcare anymore. Some childcare shelters have basically closed down entirely, and that's pushing a lot of women out of the labor force with children under 5 years of age.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia update. Fox 17 says the Trump administration plans to deport Abrego Garcia to Liberia as early as October 31st. Abrego Garcia, originally from El Salvador, was brought back to the U.S. in June to face human smuggling charges in Tennessee. He's been in ICE custody since August. Federal officials say they've secured diplomatic assurances from Liberia and are finalizing the removal process. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Hendersonville got a crash blocking the left lane. Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. They're at New Shackle Island Road. That is going to be a Vietnam Veterans eastbound. Meanwhile, we've got a crash reported on Bell Road just west of Brookview Estates Drive in Nashville. Otherwise, just the regular brake tapping around the loop to get out of town. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. Shane Ring spends all year explaining to folks that you don't have to wait till open enrollment to make changes in your health insurance program and plan. There are ways to do that. But guess what? Well, it's open enrollment season for a lot of you. And if that's the case, it's a great time for you to examine your insurance to make sure that you're getting the most for your coverage, you're getting the most for your money. And Shane Ring can do exactly that. He shops around to every insurance program available to you. And right now, for example, they've got an incredible nationwide PPO plan that gives you the freedom to choose your doctor anywhere in the United States of America with deductibles at only $250. You heard me correctly, $250 deductibles, flat copays after the deductible, outpatient surgery at just $250 in copay. I mean, these are real numbers, folks, and it could be your next insurance plan when you call Shane Ring and Cover Nash. Maybe not, maybe so. It depends on you, the individual, because Shane works for you. He becomes your healthcare concierge. Give him a call today at 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or online at covernash.com. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Cover Nash. In the midst of Fry J, as promised, we'll get directly to your telephone calls at 4:38. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Samuel will be first up with Jay St. Clair. Hello, Samuel.
Hey, how are y'all doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great. Yeah, I'll just jump right into it. Jay, so my dad passed away in August. He left property in a house in the will to all of the children, which is 8 sisters and 3 brothers.
Wow, 11 children?
So my question is there anything that we can do with the property now that he has passed away to keep it from being taken or liens being put against it? Maybe a stock, or not a stock, but maybe a trust.
Well, you said there's 11 children?
Samuel, can you hear Jay? Samuel, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't hear Jay.
Let me hold on just a second. All right, all right. So Jay asked, and hopefully we've solved that issue. But Jay asked, 11 children. You said, Samuel?
12 total.
Oh wow, 12 total.
Well, can you hear me, Samuel?
I can hear you now.
All right, and did he have a will?
He did have a will. In the will, it stated that it was left to all the children.
Yeah. Okay. So, and there is an administrator or executor of the estate.
There is 2 executors of the estate, and those are 2 of my sisters.
Yeah, and so have y'all opened an estate with probate court?
Have not done that quite yet. Really trying to understand what we can do to maybe keep the property from being taken in a divorce or being split up or liens being put against it.
Well, you're going to probably have to open an estate, but the executors, you got to keep the property up, Samuel, right? I mean, you can't, otherwise it's going to deteriorate. And so the executors, my advice would be for the executors to do, even short of opening up an estate in probate, that's what you need to do. That way they can get court approval to spend the money. But just, and maybe you can get an understanding among all the siblings that they're going to spend some money to keep the house up, and then they'll get reimbursed for it. I mean, that's the way the court will handle it. But we don't need to have the roof start leaking and that sort of stuff. Is there a mortgage on it?
No, it's paid for, but I mean, the roof is already leaking. A lot of things are already happening.
No, absolutely. The executors, they need to, what you really need to do is go talk to a lawyer. Well, I guess you're doing that now. But what I would do is have the 2 sisters that were appointed the co-executors. They need to spend the money to keep the property up and keep very good receipts. And then go ahead and have a conversation as a family that, look, they're going to do it, or maybe everybody chip in, whatever works the best. You know, you can square up the money at the end, Samuel, but the key is to minimize damage to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd be taking care of whoever's in the best position to pay to keep the house up and keep records of it. And then at the end, we can square up, because what's probably going to have to happen is you're probably going to have to sell the house. I mean, maybe I don't know, do any of the kids want to live there?
Yeah. So right now it's just one of my brothers is living there.
Okay. And does he want to keep it forever?
The way it reads in my dad's will is anybody that falls on hard times can move into the house.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. So, I mean, what can happen is the one brother that's living there now, if he wants to buy out everybody else, he can do that. What do you think the house is worth, Sam?
$100,000. The property it's tied to maybe another couple $100,000.
Okay, so $300,000 total. Yeah. Yeah, if one person wants it and nobody else wants it, then that person can just buy out everybody else's interest. But for the first thing right now is take care of the house. Whoever's in a position to pay the money to take care of the house, they need to do it and keep the receipts. And then you square up at the end.
Okay, that brings me to my next question. I know I'll make it quick.
Yeah, got to go quick, Samuel.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 2 executors right now, they are not taking care of everything. So there's already been part of there was a shop next to the house. It was falling down. Could have been fixed, and that should have been what was happened. But they made the decision to tear it down. So they're not making the best of decisions. So,
Right.
Is there anything that I can do about that?
Yeah, what you need to do, you need to just open an estate in probate court. You got to get a judge overseeing this, Samuel. That's the thing to do. If you hadn't talked to a lawyer, now's the time to go talk to a lawyer. What county is it
Okay.
in?
It's in Limestone County, Alabama.
Oh, is it really? Okay, in Athens.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I grew up in Huntsville, so I know that part of the world well. Yeah, I would go talk to a lawyer, and then you need to go from there. You just need to open an estate. You got that many people involved, Samuel. Trust me.
Going to be disagreements.
At some point, all 12 of you are not going to agree on what needs to happen.
Good luck to you, Samuel, and I appreciate the telephone call. Real quick, a side question from a good friend of mine, Tommy, who asked me this question several days ago, Jay, and I promised that I would ask you. He wants to set up a living trust, but he's got property in Memphis.
Right.
And lives here and around the Nashville area, and he wanted to know, could he set that up where he is, or does he have to go to Memphis to set it up, to Shelby County to set it up?
No, you can set it up here.
Okay, so he doesn't have to go over there to do it.
No.
Okay. Well, that's great. That's great news. That's a simple answer. Kyle is next on Friday. Kyle, what's your question for Jay?
Hey, guys. Hope you're having a good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
How much I appreciate Matt, Jay, Ken, Jackson. I love tuning in every day when I get off work and all here. But I'll get right into it. I don't know how much service I'll have. This is also an inheritance question. So when my grandpa died and left his will, it's been some time. It's been through probate, all the things there. He had two stipulations on the will. I was the sole heir. I really don't think that I have any claim to the inheritance anymore. I failed to meet one of those expectations. But my question here is they're about to close out these accounts. The attorney that is handed me some paperwork to sign, said just sign the front of it here so we can close this out where the executor and him could get paid. The amounts were left off. I didn't know if that was normal practice.
No, wouldn't sign that. Don't sign that, Kyle. Okay. Don't ever sign a blank check unless it's payable
that's
to
kind of what
me.
I was thinking, and I wanted to keep it ring. So
I wouldn't.
I really don't think I would have any claim to the inheritance anymore. But
yeah, but I just don't like that. That is sus.
Oh, good. There's a good pull, St. Clair. That's what the kids are saying.
6'7". 6'7".
No, I don't think it's 6'7". I think it is sus though.
No, that's very sus. I wouldn't do it, Kyle. Because chances are you're probably not do anything. But the only person I would ever sign a blank check to is me. Because I trust me. I don't trust anybody else.
Kyle, I hope that satisfies your question. Thank you. I want to get to as many as I can. Larry's next up on Friday. Larry, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah,
guys.
man. Of course.
And Jay, first of all, how is Miss Olivia? And then
that's a good question.
The main reason for calling is I have willed my house and property and tractor and equipment and stuff to my next door neighbor because she's been such a huge help to me since my health has been declining.
Right.
But my question is, and I have almost as much equity in the house as is owed on the house, but the house is not paid off. So can you will a house to someone that's not then the house is not paid?
Sure, absolutely, Larry. And I'm sorry I hadn't called you back. I know you called me, but you said no hurry. So this counts as a call.
I know, but I just figured this would be,
Yep. No, Olivia's doing great. No, absolutely. It happens all the time, Larry. And, and what happens, here's the way that works. So it goes into probate and she now owns the house, but the debt will get paid off first. First thing that happens in probate is they come in and they pay off all the debts. Well, if there's not enough money in the estate to pay off the mortgage, then the house will have to be sold to pay off the mortgage. Because the debtor, particularly a secured debtor like that, a mortgage or they're entitled to get paid.
So let's say I owe $100,000, which is about what I owe on the house.
Yeah, right.
And I've got $98,000 in equity.
Yeah, so that you're saying the house worth $200,000 and you owe $100 on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, is there any way she could work it so she could get the house for the other $2,000?
Well, I mean, no, she'll have to pay off the $100,000 because the loan is probably going to say that it's due upon the death of the borrower. Now, the lender, she may be able to work a deal with the lender. She may be able to just take over the mortgage. Whoever the bank or whoever owns the mortgage doesn't have to do that, Larry, but they can. Well, so that's possible by agreement, but she can't get there by law.
Okay. Well, the Bankers Veterans United, her dad is retired military.
Okay. Well, they may be happy to just have her step in and take over the mortgage. Now, what rate's the mortgage?
Yeah, because right now I'm at 2.75.
Yeah. 2.75? No,
they ain't gonna let her take that over.
No, Larry.
They ain't gonna let that take that over. But they'll say, "Well, ma'am, I tell you what, if we bump it up to 6%, then yeah, we'll just roll over."
Yeah, we're happy. We're happy to it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, Jay, and I appreciate you both. I love
Thank you,
I
Larry.
always listen.
Yeah, no, we love you, Larry. We appreciate you. 4460 is written in and says that they have a request of you, Jay.
Okay.
They want you to cease and desist from saying 6'7".
Okay. Motion granted. You know, I joke around. I teach at law school, and you know that I stopped paying attention to popular culture in 1980.
Right.
I have no current popular cultural references, and so I'm trying to work on that a little.
Oh, no, I love it.
And a lot of this Gen Z slang, I think, is kind of fun.
Well, we've reached peak silly because, I mean, all the rest of it at least means something.
Right.
But like 6'7", I looked it up, and they're like, well, it doesn't really mean anything.
No, it intentionally means nothing. That's right.
Well, then when do you use it? How do you use it?
I don't know. You know, Kyle Larson, they were talking to him on a track the other day
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the race, and they were saying, what the hell's the car doing? Nah, 6'7".
and they're like, okay.
I thought he was trying to say on a scale of 1 to 10.
It's a 6 or a 7.
It's a 6 or 7.
6'7".
6'7".
Kathy, we got you for Fry J. What's going on, Kathy? How are you?
Hey, I'm sorry I'm being a repeat offender. However, I have issues.
Well, Kathy, I've got to admonish you. We got to go quick. So I just need to get to the meat of the question.
Okay, sure.
All right.
So my dad died in February. His wife had a life estate. She has moved out, but nothing is finalized. Can anyone move into his house at this point?
Yeah, well, you can move in. The house is empty right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can go squat. I mean, squatters everywhere. I wouldn't do that without somebody's permission. But you can do that. It goes back to the old question of, can I sue somebody? Yeah, well, you can go live in anybody's house. The question is somebody going to
you can sue a ham sandwich?
Well, that's right. You can sue a ham sandwich.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, you can move in, but she may object. She may call the law on you.
Do you have a good relationship with her, Kathy?
Well, kinda, pretty much.
Have you asked her?
Well, what I do is talk with her. Just talk with her about it and say, hey, do you mind if I move into the house? I'll keep it up. I'll pay the electric. I'll pay the utilities.
What about that, Kathy?
Right, yeah.
I mean, trust me, a house is like a car. It's better off being driven. A car's better off being driven, and a house is better off being lived in.
Right.
That's
I'd say if you cut a deal with her where you'll live there and pay the utilities. You won't pay her rent, but pay her utilities and keep it up.
Mm-hmm. And the insurance.
The first, and Kathy, let us know how it goes. I'm sorry to rush, but I've got to get. We're just out of time. Jay, I did not understand that the first time. My grandpa told me that first time. He's like, the problem with that car is nobody's driving it.
Right.
It's going down because nobody's driving. I'm like,
absolutely.
What? It made no sense at the time, but yeah, it makes perfect sense.
All the seals dry out and everything.
Right.
Yeah, that's the worst thing you can do. That's why I have to get my race car out and burn up the street.
That's why you do it. Oh, is that why you do it? Hey, Jay, who's winning the race this weekend? It ain't gonna be Chase Elliott, so don't even worry about that. But who's winning?
I was wrong last week. I guess the fastest forward and golly, the Gibbs guys, man,
They got it
are
figured out.
strong.
They got it figured
And
out.
I tell you, Bell, but I really like Denny Hamlin at Martinsville.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then that
so
would point two guys in.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so if I had to pick somebody, I'd pick Denny Hamlin. He's on a roll right now.
Well, I'll pick him till Phoenix.
Anybody but Joey Logano.
We agree on that. Jay, hit him straight this weekend, my brother, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, 53 after the hour on Super Talk. Efficient Heating and Cooling is not just a place for second opinions, but they do second opinions pretty well, friends, and I'm proud to tell you about it. Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling wants to make sure that when somebody tells you it's time to replace that heater, that it's actually time. Do you know? Sad but true that a lot of HVAC companies, they default to telling you to replace. Couple of reasons for that. Number one, they don't have to worry about the repair of that unit and the knowledge that it takes to repair the heating unit. Number two, they make more money that way. Maybe number two should be number one, but the bottom line is this. If you need that second opinion, call Jeff Eddy and Efficient. Give yourself peace of mind. The best way to head off costly repairs is to maintenance the unit, and you'll never pay more than $125 with Efficient Heating and Cooling on a maintenance call, plus you get the maintenance guarantee. Ask about the maintenance guarantee when you make the call that so many others have made to Efficient Heating and Cooling, 615-784-4424, 784-4424, or efficienthvac.net. That's efficienthvac.net.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. U.S. stocks rallied because inflation in September came in lower than expected and fueled hopes for a Federal Reserve rate cut. But KPMG chief economist Diane Swonk says there's growing concern about the affordability of elder care and child care.
Elder care went up at its fastest pace for one single month on record. That is where immigration plays an outsized role in filling those jobs in home elder care.
28% of the overall direct care workforce for long-term care services were immigrants, many of whom may have been scared off by the Trump administration rescinding a 2021 Biden policy that protected health care facilities from ICE raids. And President Trump's directed the deployment of the USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, to the waters off South America, marking a major military escalation amid rising tensions with Venezuela. The carrier strike group comprises of multiple guided missile destroyers, a nuclear-powered submarine, and advanced F-35 fighter jets. It's day 24 of the second longest U.S. government shutdown ever, and with the Senate out at least through the weekend, the shutdown will continue through Monday. We get more from ABC News congressional correspondent Jay O'Brien.
500,000 missed a paycheck today. Air traffic controllers will start to miss paychecks next week. And oh, by the way, a week from today, October 31st, is the next round of payroll for the United States military. And right now, there's no plan on how to cover those paychecks as well.
Well, you might have to pay more for YouTube TV. Rebecca Jarvis says Disney's in a standoff with the cable streaming service. The existing distribution agreement between the two set to expire on Thursday at midnight.
YouTube telling us we've been working in good faith to negotiate a deal with Disney that pays them fairly for their content on YouTube TV. Disney saying in a statement, "We invest significantly in our content and expect our partners to pay fair rates that recognize that value. If we don't reach a fair deal soon, YouTube TV customers will lose access to ESPN and ABC and all our marquee programming, including the NFL, college football, NBA and NHL seasons, and so much more."
YouTube TV, the biggest internet pay TV service with about 10 million subscribers. And what will the new White House ballroom be called? ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
President Trump will likely name the new White House ballroom after himself, according to senior administration officials. Officials are already referring to it as the President Donald J. Trump Ballroom. The president hasn't said publicly what he intends to name the ballroom, but he's known for branding his construction projects after himself. Asked this week if he has a name for the ballroom, he said with a smile, "I won't get into that now." Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. I-40 got a crash blocking the left lane in Wilson County. It's going westbound right there at Linwood Road. In Clarksville, we got a crash. Highway Patrol says it's 24 eastbound at Rossview Road. Woodbine, a crash. Metro Police say it's 440 eastbound just past Nolensville Pike, and that is bringing people to a complete stop. Talbot's Corner, crash reported 65 southbound at Trinity Lane. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Our hour number 3 starts right now in earnest, 6 minutes after 5 o'clock. Thank you for being around with us. Whatever time you're able to give, we're certainly appreciative of that. We got 2 more hours to go, and we'll call it a weekend. For many of you, perhaps getting in your automobiles, you can finally say hello to the weekend. Congratulations. Many of you have made it. So many of you getting in your cars, ready to get going. You might have plans tonight. Maybe you're going to the Pumpkin Fest in Franklin tomorrow. Perhaps you've got football plans over the course of the weekend. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Or fall plan. Man, the fall is here, and I am here for it. Ken Weaver, aren't you excited about the cooler conditions outside?
No.
Jackson Williams, aren't you excited about the cooler conditions outside?
Yes, but I wish it wasn't so drastic.
I'm drastic?
It was 80 degrees last week. It was 38 this morning.
That's too cold.
I like it. I absolutely love it. The dogs love it, too. Not my bulldogs. I'm talking about my actual dogs, Mrs. Beasley and Munson.
Yeah, Kirby cracks when it gets cold.
They get all excited.
Little Fat Fritz likes it.
Oh, does he?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Does Fritz get the zoomies, Ken? You know what I'm talking about?
He doesn't get the zoomies.
Oh, man.
He gets the waddlies.
He does get the waddlies.
He gets the, hey, I'm going to roll over. You scratch my belly ease.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good, too. Well, I love it. Love the fall weather. I love all the seasons equally. I'm an equal opportunity lover of the seasons. I think each of them have their own wonder and their own special qualities. And the fall, I mean, when the leaves start turning and it gets crisp outside and folks are slurping on that pumpkin spice, whatever the hell you're drinking. And I don't know what's in there, but you look like you're getting goofy, so there must be something in there that ought not to be. Whatever. We dig it. Now, I don't think I'm going to Pumpkin Fest.
What's Pumpkin Fest?
You know, Holly at Savory Spice was telling me about it, and she invites all of y'all to stop by and say hello to her, and I'll say more about Holly coming up in just a couple of minutes. But it is a Franklin festival, and it's called Pumpkin Fest. I don't know a lot about it, Jackson, except that there will be a lot of people in the middle of Franklin, Tennessee. And Franklin's a beautiful place. Don't get me wrong. It's idyllic. It is almost too good. Almost too good. I think the slogan for Franklin should be a picture-perfect little town where something must be horribly, horribly wrong. No, I mean, it's Hallmark-esque. And you just feel like you scratch underneath this thin veneer. And
there's a secret.
See, Ken, I think there's a secret in that town somewhere. I'm going to find it. I have been on the Haunted Franklin tour, though. That's pretty good. The Haunted Franklin tour, if you've never been, there's a ghost tour that goes on in Franklin,
Yeah, man,
Tennessee.
I'm into stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I've been to, have y'all been to the, the Lutz House, and then across the street there's the, dadgummit, I can't remember it now. Somebody on the super text will figure it out for me. The house, the Carter House, is that right?
Those restaurants?
No. These are the Civil War homes, the homes that existed in the Civil War, the Battle of Franklin.
Oh, yeah. You know there's ghosts in there.
Oh man, one of the best photographs I've ever taken. They have a building that is still standing. That was the smokehouse. No, it wasn't the smokehouse. It was like the farm office of this house in Franklin. And during the Civil War, and it is the Carter House, I think. During the Civil War, there was a line of Union and a line of Confederate soldiers that took up against one another, and they were firing into the house. And the Carter family, they all went downstairs into the basement, into the root cellar to protect themselves. Otherwise, they would have been absolutely killed. But the Confederate line of troops and the Union line of troops were firing against one another. And this structure is still standing. And can you go in there and, it's dark inside of the house. It's painted white on the outside. Mm-hmm. But from the inside, when it's light outside, you can see the bullet holes. And there are hundreds of bullet holes in this home.
Wow. That's cool.
It's just
cool.
It is really cool. I mean, it's just that history still exists.
Yes.
In 2025 after so many years of standing there. Anyway, but yeah, I wouldn't I would advise that if you enjoy crowds and you enjoy the idyllic scenery of a beautiful town in the fall of Tennessee, that you enjoy yourself Pumpkin Fest 2025. You will not see me there, but if you do, if I happen to be there, I'll be the guy in the hat.
Is it pumpkin or punkin?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Probably pumpkin.
I was told that it was pumpkin.
Pumpkin's what you'd name a little dog.
Pumpkin. Pumpkin's what you call your sweetie when you pat her on the rear end. Hey,
why don't you go get me another sandwich, Pumpkin?
Hey, Pumpkin, why don't you go get me another cold one?
Yeah.
We're about to kick off second half. Get smacked, man.
Yeah.
Get smacked right across the lips.
You go thirsty.
Yeah, you would definitely go thirsty in my household. 615-737-9986 if you'd like to participate in these shenanigans. We're celebrating the weekend. I do want to say thank you to all of you. We try to remind you of this. Thank you to all of you weekend warriors.
Yes, sir.
I understand that there are police officers, firefighters, EMTs, doctors, nurses, all of you folks that make our weekends special and possible because you're out there on the front lines protecting us and helping us out when we are in need. Plus, you restaurateurs, you business owners, you convenience store workers, all of you that work on the weekends, we call you the weekend warriors out there. We say thank you from the Murphy Show to you. God bless you. We appreciate you. And we're glad that you're out there to make our Saturdays and for some of us, our Sunday afternoons a little more special. 13 after the hour. All right, this story, I feel like I'm being trolled, y'all. I feel like I'm being trolled. But there was an opinion piece written in the Knoxville newspaper. I guess it's called Knox News. It's knoxnews.com online. And the piece has been written by guest columnist Kirk Wolf. And the title of the piece is Back the Blue, Tennessee, Retire Rocky Top. That's right.
You're kidding.
This Rocky Top. Yeah, just turn that up for a second, Jackson. I just want to. Is this the original Osborne Brothers? So this is a dude singing. Soda pump down. I wonder which half was the bear and which half was the cat. I'm not even a Tennessee fan. This is a good song, y'all.
I love it.
I love this. Love bluegrass. Love this era of music. Love everything about it. Here's the verse in question. I think it's coming right up. Here it is. Strangers ain't come down from Rocky Top. Reckon they never will. Dang right they do.
Yes, sir.
All right. So as good as that.
No, we got to keep playing it.
Give a woo.
Woo! You know what's funny? The stream can't hear the music,
Oh.
so they just heard the woo.
They're just hearing us. They're just listening to me sing along. I'm sorry if that's the. I mean, I bet it's that.
We're doing it in
Listen,
acapella.
oh my gosh. I didn't even think about it, Jackson. Because if I'm singing with the music swelled around me, nobody notices. But if I'm singing by myself, that's got to sound awful. And I am so sorry. I didn't even think about it. I will never sing on this radio station again. So this is an actual piece written by an actual human being that is demanding that the state of Tennessee retire the song Rocky Top. And I'm going to read you a portion of this opinion piece written by a gentleman by the name of Kirk Wolff, Wolff. Now, Kirk is either doing a masterful job of trolling us with satire, and that might be true.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, good job on you, Kirk. If you are pulling off some sort of Jonathan Swift-esque A Modest Proposal satire, I think it's great. Otherwise, you might be the dumbest human being on planet Earth.
He was going to be my nincompoop.
Was he now? I thought about making him my nincompoop. I think he might be all of our nincompoops.
Good. I need one.
The university, right, reading from the article, the University of Tennessee, as a public institution and an arm of the state government, should not advocate or celebrate violence against law enforcement. This seems like a basic statement, yet its execution may prove controversial. Governor Bill Lee, along with the UT system president, Randy Boyd, Boyd never called me back. I called him about something. He never wrote. Anyway, Randy Boyd campaigned for office on support of law enforcement. They both back the blue. And yet, they have taken no action as more than 100,000 UT fans sing a song 40 to 50 times a game, led by the pride of the Southland Marching Band, which celebrates the murder of law enforcement agents. Rocky Top, the unofficial fight song of UT of relatively recent vintage, has the following verse. Once, two strangers climbed old Rocky Top, looking for a moonshine still. Strangers ain't come down from Rocky Top. Reckon they never will. You see, it is Kirk's assessment that the strangers described in the song are widely known to represent federal officers, a.k.a. revenuers. I added that. Likely either from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the Treasury Department, or the Internal Revenue Service. With recent attacks, this guy, once again, I'm not making any of this up. He wrote this for the Knoxville Sentinel. With recent attacks on federal officers, including resistance by those detained and even violent attacks on officers, particularly against those individuals working for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, it is beyond time for UT to stop fanning the flames of violence with this song. Retaining Rocky Top, which openly celebrates violent resistance to the point of killing federal officers over trivial matters such as taxes, only serves to further justify the actions of those resisting federal officers who are detaining U.S. citizens, deporting lawful residents, occupying cities within the United States, all with much greater deprivations of rights than revenuers seeking tax payments as described in the song. In order to prevent the further degradation of our nation's respect for federal authority, UT must immediately cease celebrating resistance against federal officers with the song Rocky Top. Failing to do so would only continue the shameful history of left-wing indoctrination of our nation's youth to question and resist such federal actions. So, based on my reading of this dude, Kirk Wolff, is trolling. He's trolling in a weird, misguided attempt to try to be satirical. And he is suggesting that the song Rocky Top celebrates a state's defiance of federal tyranny. And right now, we are seeing a demand on the part of the federal government that states bend the knee to federal, quote-unquote, tyranny with results in Memphis with the National Guard, with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, et cetera, et cetera. And he finishes up by saying, I know that some people may claim that Tennessee has an anti-authoritarian history and tradition that's honored by Rocky Top, but in the current environment where we must go back the blue at all costs, it cannot continue to be played at UT games. Down the field has always been catchier. Anyway, what's down the field, Jackson? Is that like the official
One
fight
second.
song? Oh, you got it over there? Okay.
I will in just a moment.
So that's Kirk Wolf, a graduate of the United States Naval Academy who lives in Morristown, Tennessee, who wants to eliminate Rocky Top because it is an anti-government song. Well, here's the thing there, Kirk. I've never thought necessarily that they were talking about revenuers in Rocky Top. I think they were just talking about strangers. That's what they say. That two strangers went up there on Rocky Top looking for a moonshine still.
Ain't been seen since.
Nah, strangers
ain't come down yet.
Ain't come down from Rocky Top. Yeah, Ken?
Yes, sir.
I reckon they never will.
No.
I don't guess so.
Maybe they like that. Maybe they like that stuff they found up there.
Maybe so. Maybe they're enjoying the company of one of those half bear, half cat ladies. Which down the field. Okay. Yeah, this is not catchy at all. I can understand why y'all go with Rocky Top.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Jackson, that's no good. You think that's any good? That's no good.
It means Tennessee just scored, and Rocky Top's about to play.
Oh, so they played
I think of it as a prelude to Rocky Top.
So they play two songs when you score?
Yes, you play down the field first, and then you go into Rocky Top right before the extra point.
Well, I'll be.
Huh.
Sure to hope I don't hear that November 1st.
You will, Ken, right through the TV.
Why can't y'all just make a decision and play the one?
One's our official fight song, one is our unofficial fight song. If you don't like it, get out. We let you move to this state as a Georgia fan. If you don't like our fight songs, you can leave.
Come, Jackson.
What are you, a Vandy fan? Have to think about all the intricacies of everything.
I'm not a Vandy fan.
Jackson is hardcore, man.
Jackson is not putting up with it anymore. I've already given him the business about his baseball coach leaving, and he ain't having it anymore about his football team. Jackson, I apologize. Y'all play any song y'all want to play. This is the state of Tennessee, and God bless you over there.
You can stay
at
for
Rocky
another
Top.
week. Ken Weaver, I'm not so sure about you. We'll see how next week goes.
I'll say this. I like the song Rocky Top.
Me too.
I thought I heard several good renditions of Rocky Top in Neyland Stadium the last time I was there, especially the last time I heard it played. That was by the Red Coat Marching Band.
It was not. We went over this.
What do you mean? That's fake news?
That is 100% fake news.
I heard it, though.
You heard it because the Tennessee has speakers all around that is hooked up to their band, Tennessee's band, and one of them sits directly in front of the opposing band, which I love. And that was where Rocky Top was coming out of.
Oh, so y'all were playing Rocky Top?
Yes, we played at the end of every game, win or lose.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, there you go, Jackson. You're getting.
And if you don't like that, you can get out.
Listen, Jackson, I'm just getting the hell out of your way. I might just let you do the rest of the show.
I'm good.
So Kirk Wolf, he's trolling the individuals that look
revenuers.
His point, what's Kirk's point? I guess is that if you supported the type of activity that is talked about in Rocky Top, where people up on top of the mountain didn't like the revenuers coming around looking for their moonshine stills, then you can't, in good conscience, support immigration and customs enforcement. I disagree. I think you can support both things. I think I can disagree with the idea of having the federal government demand taxation on items that I created with my bare hands on my property, and at the same time appreciate the idea of catching and returning to their home countries individuals that came into the United States of America illegally. I also suggest to you that there is a way to turn that authority back over to the states if we so desire. However, one of the basic responsibilities of the federal government is to protect our borders. And by extension, to go into the various states and to find and catch and remove those who have violated our border security. 25 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, I mentioned a Pumpkin Fest is coming to Franklin. A lot of people will be in Franklin. And if you're planning on going down, in all seriousness, enjoy yourself, have a great time, and stop in and say hello to Holly, David, and the rest of the crew at Savory Spice. You'll see them if you're in Franklin, anywhere near the square. Go by Gray's Pharmacy. You see the big Gray's Pharmacy sign, and right beside Gray's, you'll see Savory Spice. Pop in and grab everything that you need for the baking that you'll be doing this holiday season. I mean, obviously, they've got pumpkin spice. Of course they do. What do you think? It's Pumpkin Fest, after all. But they also have cinnamon, and they have nutmeg, and they have every other flavor imaginable that makes your baked goods so delicious. And they've got the freshest of the fresh spices. I mean, they've got something for you. If you're a novice in the kitchen, or are you looking for gift-giving ideas for the holiday season, find them for the cooks in your life at Savory Spice. I love to say you up your spice game, or you up your food game by upping your spice game. You up your spice game at the one and only Savory Spice. Pop in and say hey to Holly and David over the course of Pumpkin Fest this weekend at Savory Spice in Franklin.
5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. And right now in Tennessee, the ATF says it has completed the on-scene investigation of that deadly AES explosion in McEwen. Special agent in charge in Nashville, Jamie Van Vliet, says they know where it started, just not how.
They have developed multiple scientific hypotheses regarding what caused this tragedy. While our physical work here has ended, our investigation is far from over.
They'll now continue in the lab to determine the cause of the explosion. That could take up to a year. At least 24,000 tons of explosives went off, 24,000 pounds, I should say, of explosives went off during the blast, killing at least 16 people. 2 people still have not been located. New York Attorney General Letitia James defiant after pleading not guilty to federal mortgage fraud charges that she lied to get a better deal on her house.
No fear. No fear. No fear.
James under fire for something else, too, after her grandniece, Nakia Thompson, was found living in that Virginia home while the niece was wanted in North Carolina for probation violations on things like assault. Admitted to living rent-free at that property tied to James' federal mortgage fraud indictment. And you might be paying more for YouTube TV or not, but it could affect how you watch your favorite shows. The existing distribution agreement between Disney and YouTube TV set to expire Thursday at midnight. Here's Rebecca Jarvis.
YouTube telling us we've been working in good faith to negotiate a deal with Disney that pays them fairly for their content on YouTube TV. Disney saying in a statement, "We invest significantly in our content and expect our partners to pay fair rates that recognize that value. If we don't reach a fair deal soon, YouTube TV customers will lose access to ESPN and ABC and all our marquee programming, including the NFL, college football, NBA and NHL seasons, and so much more."
That's the latest news, traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we got a crash on 40 westbound in Wilson County. It's got the left lane blocked there at Linwood Road. In Smyrna, a crash partially blocking the off-ramp 24 eastbound to Sam Ridley. And in Clarksville, Highway Patrol reporting a crash 24 eastbound at Rossview Road. In Lebanon, a crash 40 westbound past Lebanon Road. That's exit 238. I'm Ken Weaver.
Gentlemen, I want to speak with you for a moment about your health, specifically your, well, there's no other way to say it, your sexual health. You reach a certain age where you still perhaps have the drive, the want to, but you don't have the can do like you did at some points in your life. There could be many factors involved in coming to this point in your life. But let's catch this early and let's get back in the game, men, with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. It is not 1975. It is 2025, men, and it's time to start treating it that way. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to just give up that part of your life. You still can have romantic engagement well into your 50s, well into your 60s, well beyond that with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Let's get a qualified urologist to check you out. Your initial consultation and visit, blood work, and examination is only $99, whether you go to Cool Springs, the original location in Midtown, or the brand new spot in Clarksville. But they can assist you in any and all of your needs when it comes to your sexual health. Get back in the game, men, with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com to see all of the various treatment options that you have. They will personalize one specifically to you and specific to your needs. Call them and schedule that appointment, 615-208-9090, 208-9090. It's the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, I'm sick of talking about the East Wing. It's gone. Never coming back. Never coming back. I do love, I like the latest, though, Ken.
Yeah, he's going to name it after himself.
He's going to name They're so mad. They're so mad. Oh, and also, there are liberals out there. Oberman, that insane.
Oh, good grief.
Keith Oberman. And Joe Walsh is another one, not the singer, the politician. And there was a third one online. They're demanding that anyone, get this, Ken, anyone running for political office, for the presidency, on the Democrat ticket in 2028 has to declare that whatever Trump builds, they're going to tear down.
Oh, my word. Well, that's what Biden did to the border. Tore it right down.
Tore it right down, didn't he?
Look how that was. How'd that work out for him?
That worked out really great. I just love that. They tore it down. And they want him to tear it down, not just rename it. We're going to call it the beautiful Donald J. Trump Big Beautiful Ballroom.
See that, and that's, you know, he's just trolling, man.
I think I saw where Hillary was complaining about it, and he threatened to call it the Monica Lewinsky Ballroom. She had more action in the White House than Hillary ever did.
Oh, goodness.
I said it. It's awesome. East Wingless. I mean, it's not there anymore. I don't know what to tell y'all. He doesn't have the right to do it. Guess what, bro? Just did it. How about that?
My goodness.
Definition of cash me outside. How about that? And then there's this. Hey, Matt. See, some folks are very, very upset about their sports. I got someone upset at me.
Yeah?
There was one particular person that was very, very angry with the way that we handled the Tony Vitello stuff.
Really? They got mad?
They got mad at me. Said that I was making fun. And that person's name was Jackson Williams. No, I'm just kidding.
Brother Jackson.
They got mad because I kept using the wrong names.
And he kept he kept playing that sad music all day.
I didn't. That was you, and you know it.
I know that you have control over all the music, commercial breaks, everything.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I don't even know why I'm here.
I don't know. You answering the phones. That's all you do. You don't do anything else. You don't control the TV experience. You don't control the radio experience. You don't control all the sound that comes out of our speakers. Just hands off, baby. But there's one person. That was one person very mad, but that's okay. That's okay. They'll be okay. And then this. Hey, Matt, since you were talking sports, how do you explain your liar of a head coach? I know you hate liars.
Something I can get behind.
I think you just reiterated as much yesterday. And so I said, well, what did Kirby lie about? And the super texter writes, really? I was just clapping? Don't talk about blank blank from politicians and just ignore that. And
What's blank blank?
Bull blank. Bull squeeze.
Didn't say squeeze, did they?
No, they didn't. Don't talk about bull bleep from politicians and just ignore that. And I said, you mad, bro? That's just how we clap in Athens. Everybody knows that.
That's just how they do it.
I mean, that's just how we do it around there. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, I can't tell you the number of concerts I've been to at the Georgia Theater. And, you know, that's right. And when REM's there on stage, we're just clapping. Woo!
Oh, goodness.
Kind of hurts your fingers doing that.
It does. But if you're dedicated, you can get it done. And 5510 says, I'm just curious how you explain that while promoting truth. Oh, he was just funning.
Maybe that fella's just funning, too.
Maybe he's just funning. I don't know. Maybe so. I think I look at sports as a respite from the seriousness of the political day. It is a lovely respite, and we're gonna keep it that way. It's 42 after the hour. You know what else is a respite from the politics of the day, Ken?
Nincompoops in the news.
Nincompoops
That's right.
in the news.
It's time for Nick Boots in the News. You all know how we do it. Ken Weaver gets one, Jackson Williams gets one, Matt Murphy gets one, and you get to vote on one of the three. Super Talk 99.7 Super Text line open and running, 615-737-9986. You know, make it fair, and y'all hold off on voting for Ken Weaver until all of us have done our stories.
Vote for me.
Jackson.
Oh, man. I mean, and Jackson is just shameless.
He's whipping us.
He'll beg for those votes. Did you win yesterday?
Oh, I had a landslide yesterday.
What was your story yesterday, Jackson?
Mine was the roadside crapper in Georgia.
Who was that fella?
Matthew Murphy.
I don't believe it. I think it's fake news. I think that's fake news. By the way, all of you sending me nincompoops in the news, we got to verify these stories. They're sending
How many AI stories do you get a day?
I get a lot of them. Are you getting some now, too?
No, but they got Ken a couple of weeks ago. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the old woman in Missouri
That's
who
right.
kept disappearing off in the trees on a stroller.
I had an AI story that was sent to me today about a guy that, I forget what he was doing. It was somewhere in Louisiana. And I couldn't I looked it up and I couldn't verify it anywhere. And I got to get verification on these stories because they got to be true.
Yes, sir.
That's the basic foundation of nincompoops in the news.
I
Jack?
almost got again.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, have you guys seen the image? It's an old boy. He looks like a poor man's Sammy Hagar in his mugshot.
Oh, that's the one that he's got a flowery shirt on.
Yes.
Yes, I almost got gotten by that one too.
Almost got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. You got
Y'all ever see where AI is now? I mean, y'all are older, so maybe it's already getting you. But I look at AI now, and I just go, yeah, I'm getting scammed when I'm like 75, 76. Like, somebody's going to get me.
Jackson, I don't think you're going to make it to 75 or 76, first off. Number two.
Why, because you're going to kill me?
No, number two, by the time you're that age, I think you'll be AI. You know what I mean?
That's my goal, just upload my conscience.
Yeah, just upload yourself on a computer system and just play around in there. I mean, hell, who's to say this isn't a simulation?
We've been accused.
I'm not against simulation theory.
Wouldn't that be something?
Mm-hmm. This is the simulation, Ken.
Like we're actually doing something else.
Yeah, so the real world has advanced so much that, kind of the Matrix.
Yeah.
We're in the Matrix.
Real world Ken Weaver is currently beating a woodpecker with a brick.
Oh, that's so funny. You get a clap. You get a clap.
Thank you. You're far too kind.
Yeah, you're welcome. Jackson, go ahead.
Man wearing Speedo breaks into 911 center and assaults dispatchers. It's not often that 911 dispatchers need help from law enforcement, but that was a case for a community in New Hampshire after a man broke into a sheriff's office. Video shows terrifying moments inside the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. It hasn't happened in my 24 years here and hopefully never happens again, says Sheriff Brian Newcomb. One day in August, a man wearing nothing but a Speedo and a yellow hat tried to get into the secured dispatch center. One of our dispatchers was coming in for work and was accosted by the man when she was trying to get inside the building, Newcomb said. Authorities said 50-year-old Corey Nickerson barged in and tried to get into the vestibule into the dispatch center. During the struggle, another dispatcher came in to help. Typically, they're here rendering assistance over the phone and radio for people calling 911 or needing emergency help. But that day, they found themselves needing assistance, the sheriff said. Authorities said both women coming into work and the dispatcher who tried to help are now healing from both visible and invisible scars from that day.
Holy moly. Got a little Speedo action. By a show of hands, y'all don't have to verbalize it. Who's ever worn a Speedo? That's why I love you, boys. That's why I love you.
I had a neighbor in New Mexico wore Speedo every day in the summer.
I don't get the banana.
He was like a 75-year-old man. He'd come out in his Speedo, and he had a gold necklace on, too.
I bet he did, Ken.
And he would hose off his driveway.
What? Why? Why?
I don't know.
He just hose it down.
Did you ever talk to the man?
Oh, yeah. I can't remember what his name was. He'd wear sunglasses, a gold necklace, and a white Speedo.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Those are just tidy-whities, Ken.
He was tan, too, boy.
I bet he was. Normally, those was he a larger fella, small fella?
No, he was a small fella.
Okay. Normally, those boys that wear those Greek fellas on the Mediterranean, they love wearing those Speedos, Ken. No, those are Europeans. I bet this fellow's European.
He might have been.
Maybe so.
He didn't have a European accent, though.
No.
I think he was Latino.
Okay.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why he's wearing Speedo.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Dude, is that the thing?
I don't know. At this point in the proceedings, I don't know a lot anymore. It's 47 after 5. We got about an hour to go before we call it a week. Been a hell of a week. I've done my due diligence before this show even started, so I get credit for the 6 o'clock hour, even though I get to leave early because we got a special guest that we pre-recorded. There's nothing wrong with that.
You know what? Take it away, Ken Weaver.
Well, boys, I don't have a nincompoops, but I do have a very heartwarming story for everybody who likes woodpeckers. And I promise you I'm going to stay well away from them.
Okay.
The Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, in partnership with the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation and the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, has announced a plan to reintroduce the red cockaded woodpecker, a species that was extirpated from Tennessee back in 1994. Governor Bill Lee says in a statement, the return of the red cockaded woodpecker is not just a biological milestone, it's a triumph of collaboration for all Tennesseans. The red cockaded woodpecker, once native to upland mature pine and oak pine savannas in Tennessee, was extirpated from the state due to fire suppression, logging, and old-growth pines and habitat fragmentation. The last red cockaded woodpecker in Tennessee was seen in 1994 in the Cherokee National Forest. Well, apparently they're going to release them back into Tennessee. And I promise you, I'm going to leave them little fellows alone.
That last known cockaded woodpecker in the state of Tennessee, when he was last found, he was lying prone on the ground next to a brick.
And people could hear, "Hoo!"
in the background. So I feel like Ken just did that story so that he could say cockaded. Am I saying it right? I hope so.
Yeah, it's cockaded. I had to look it up myself.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know what extirpated means.
It's just a type of woodpecker?
Yeah, just type of woodpecker. Apparently it's got some red on it.
Ken doesn't discriminate. He just beats them all with a brick.
There are so many jokes about the red speckled cockaded woodpecker.
Oh, God.
And every single one of them.
Yes, sir.
Will get us terminated from our current positions on radio.
By the way, extirpate means to root out and destroy completely.
With a brick.
Well, you could probably do it with a brick. It's been known to happen.
Hey, Matt, you know where they can make those jokes?
Where's that?
Uranus, Missouri.
I bet Uranus has a plethora of cockaded woodpeckers. I bet they got more cockaded woodpeckers in Uranus than you can shake a brick at.
And this will be the final episode 910 of the Matt Murphy Show.
Oh, no. Let's finish strong. A man accused of shooting his neighbor in the Leggett area. Don't confuse this. Leggett is the town. It's not the place he shot the guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a man accused of shooting his neighbor in the Leggett area, leading to a search by law enforcement last week, is now being held in the Polk County Jail with no bond, according to jail records. Lee David Stroll, 39, is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Records show he's being held on aggravated assault of a family member with a warrant out of Harris County. Now, before you ask, no, nobody died in this story. Polk County Sheriff deputies got a call to a shooting on Wilson Road, no relation, on October 15th, and found the victim with several gunshot wounds, according to court records. The victim told investigators that her neighbor, Stroll, shot her in the arm and possibly the back.
Goodness.
Because she said he was upset that she kept feeding her own horse that was kept on his property with permission. According to records, Lee David Stroll said that he shot her because he, quote, did not want the horse to get too fat. Deputies set up a perimeter with the warrant. They searched Stroll's home. Records indicate that they found evidence connected to the shooting, including a gun. Stroll was eventually found in a wooded area near the home and taken into custody. The victim has survived the shooting, but we do not have an update on her condition. Once again, Stroll shot his neighbor who was keeping her horse on his property with his permission because she fed her horse too much, and he did not want her horse to get fat.
Didn't want a big old fat horse.
Did not want a big old fat horse. That's understandable. No word in this story on whether or not in Polk County, Texas, cockaded woodpeckers are native to the area. That's how we play Nincompoops in the News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN at 53 minutes after the hour. 4430 says, boy, the last Murphy show never made it to 1,000. 2623, love you, Ken and Matt. Look who got left out of that one. How about that?
Must be a Vandy fan.
Yeah, if you're a Vandy fan, don't have to love me. Have to listen to me.
Uranus is just transliteration of the Greek word, which translates to heaven. Okay. I'll trust you, fellas. We'll get to more of your calls, more of the shenanigans, and whether or not, well, he can't not come on because it's pre-recorded. Congressman Tim Burchett coming up in the next hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. Alpha and Omega is your computer consultation firm that I strongly recommend. If you're in business and you're not using Alpha and Omega, might I humbly suggest that you're working too hard. You're doing it wrong, and you're probably paying too much for computer consultation and IT support. At Alpha and Omega, they do it all. They understand 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week protection and what that means. They understand evolving threats, compliance for all industry, business continuity, and they have a fast local help desk. That is very important. As a business owner, your time is valuable. When you have IT issues, you need someone right now, not a call center on some other on other side of the world, and not an AI chat box to fix it. You need Alpha and Omega's computer consultants, local experts with real people who answer the phone and offer real-world help. Plus, as a business owner, the last thing you need are ransomware attacks, and there are 14 successful ransomware attacks that happen on a daily basis. Call Alpha and Omega now to avoid being one of the 14. If you're renewing your annual IT contract, I encourage you to contact Alpha and Omega. 615-784-0096, 784-0096, or online at ANO.net, ANO.net. Because I could do it this way.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. A deadly crane collapse in Massachusetts, just north of Boston, atop a barge on the Mystic River. Speaking to reporters as search efforts continued earlier today, Everett Fire Chief Joe Hickey told reporters one man was dead, a second later pronounced dead.
This time, all we had was two. One was recently transported, and one is confirmed deceased.
President Trump directing the deployment of the USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier, to the waters off South America, marking a major military escalation amid rising tensions with Venezuela.
This adds a significant amount of firepower to this region. We already have 8 ships in the region plus a submarine. We are told that that is going to be up to about 13 ships at least in the region, going from 10,000 troops to 15,000 troops.
Now, Ann Flaherty says the carrier Stryker group comprises of multiple guided missile destroyers, a nuclear-powered submarine, and advanced F-35 fighter jets. Right now in Middle Tennessee, investigators in the deadly AES explosion in McEwen say they've figured out where the blast started, but they still don't know how or why. Channel 4's Dryden Quigley.
In total, it was somewhere between 24 and 28,000 pounds of explosives that were set off.
Which is the area where the explosion originated, on the lower floor production level. And they have developed multiple scientific hypotheses regarding what caused this tragedy. While our physical work here has ended, our investigation is far from over.
They said it was too soon to speculate on any of these hypotheses, but they said their work is going to continue in a lab. In addition to figuring out why this blast happened, they're still working to identify 2 of the people that are still missing. They're hoping that maybe they can do that over the next few weeks. But again, they say it takes months, maybe even a year, to get an answer like this as to why this happened.
Again, 16 people killed and a wrongful death lawsuit filed against the company. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Right now, eastbound 24 from downtown, whenever it's merged with 40 there before the eastern split and then beyond, it's like a parking lot practically all the way down to Bell Road. You got a crash on I-40 westbound in Wilson County. This is at Tucker's Crossroads, blocking the left lane. Then in Clarksville, a crash on 24 eastbound at Rossview Road. And probably a lot of the problem there on 24 eastbound I just told you about is due to a vehicle fire off on the right shoulder. The fire is out, but crews are still on the scene. That's eastbound 24 right there at Bell Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy with you for another hour or so. We've got an interview that we conducted earlier today. Congressman Tim Burchett was in the Music City for a number of reasons that he'll get into during the interview. And he was good enough to stop by with us. Jackson and I had an opportunity to visit with the good congressman earlier. And we obviously recorded some of that, and we're going to share it with you. Coming up at about, 10 or so minutes, maybe 15 minutes from now, about 30 minutes of conversation. And if you're watching on Super Talk TV, never you fear, Jackson assures me that not only will we be able to hear it on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, but he has finagled it where we will be able to watch it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or Rumble. Oh, now it's a maybe.
Got to account for human error in there.
Well, if there's human error, I can assure you the human that is erring is Jackson, not Matt Murphy and not Ken Weaver. But I did, speaking of Ken Weaver, I did a little bit of a deeper dive into the red
cockaded woodpecker.
Cockaded woodpecker.
Yes, sir.
And this is very interesting. Ken, I apologize for not listening closely enough to know the answer to this, but maybe you would know the answer by memory based on your sharing the story with us.
All right.
Why did we lose the red cockaded woodpecker in Tennessee?
I can't remember now.
To begin with?
Forestation or something, deforestation or something.
Because it doesn't look like currently, if I'm looking at the current range map, and it doesn't look like the red cockaded woodpecker necessarily ranges up this way anymore. There's a range on the coastline of North Carolina, the Atlantic coast of South Carolina, the coast of Georgia. Florida has a pretty fair population of the red cockaded woodpecker.
Here it is.
Yeah?
Extirpated from the state due to fire suppression, logging of old growth pines, and habitat fragmentation.
Okay. Well.
So man-made.
Okay, so they're
got rid of the stuff they like.
They're trying to reintroduce them as a way of saying, our bad. Hey, all you cockaded woodpeckers, come on back over. We'd love to talk with you. Mike writes in and says, last time I saw a red cockaded woodpecker was at Denim and Diamonds back in the 1990s. I don't know what that means.
Well, last time one was seen in Tennessee was 1994.
Well, that would have been right around the Denim and Diamonds era, I suppose.
Yes.
Jackson, I think you got another victory, by the way.
Way to go, Brother Jackson.
I don't know. It's close. I got a number of Speedo votes. That's Ken Weaver votes.
Those are mine.
What?
Yeah, I had the Speedo.
I was just telling a story about a
he
neighbor.
told the woodpecker. That's right. That's right. Ken's story was about the yeah, that makes sense. Listen, if I listened to my own show, I would know these things. So yeah, looks like you got a good shot at it, Jackson.
That's way to go, Brother Jackson.
Elizabeth Warren has announced that she has launched an investigation into the contracting and approval process for the demolition of the White House.
Well, of course she has.
Because how the hell will you conduct an investigation, ma'am? The government's closed. The government's closed. You don't get to have investigations when the government's closed, lady. Oh, but she says she's launching one.
Oh, boy.
Whew. She wants to know whether the corporate... So, here's the thing. Democrats, man, y'all are funny. So, Who's going to pay for this? Who's going to pay for this? Who's going to pay for this? And Donald Trump says, well, I'm going to pay for it. I will personally contribute, and I will get donors to similarly contribute, and we will have private donations raised, and private money will pay for the construction of the ballroom to replace the East Room at the White House. And suddenly it's, corporate donations are paying for this. That's bad. Corporate donations are going to get sweetheart deals. They're seeking favors with the administration. The American public deserves answers. Okay, man. All right. You know, no one said a thing when, I guess it's a different world nowadays, guys. The East Wing, the mainstream media, NBC, and all of the other alphabet soups, they're demanding answers. They're saying that the president of the United States gave no warning. We knew about this in July, guys. They made this announcement in July, and I understand that at first they intended not to destroy any of the current structure, but once they got in there, they realized that the current structure was of a state where it was ultimately unusable, and so they decided to raise it and begin again. It is a building. The building has been changed, I think, 20 separate presidents of the United States of America, if I'm not mistaken, have altered the building in some form or fashion. As a matter of fact, I've got all of the numbers for those that, over the years, any number of presidents have made alterations to the White House. And it seems to me this is the first time that there have been these levels of demands on the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Here it is, White House modifications by U.S. President. Of course, John Adams was the first president to live in the White House. He offered basic furnishings and landscaping additions. Thomas Jefferson added colonnades, stables, and redesigned the grounds. James Madison had to rebuild the White House after the 1814 fire. James Monroe refurnished and added a south portico. Andrew Jackson added indoor plumbing and central heating. Can you imagine living at the White House and having to go out to an outhouse? I bet that was a nice outhouse, though, at the White House. I wonder if it was white, too.
I think we should take it all out.
Oh, because, they didn't ask permission.
No. It should be retroactive.
Rutherford B. Hayes added the first telephone. Get it out.
Out of there.
Chester A. Arthur did new decor and had a Tiffany glass redesign within the structure. Get it out.
Out of there.
Benjamin Harrison, electrical lighting.
Nope. Can't have that.
No.
Candles good enough.
Theodore Roosevelt created an entire West Wing, Ken. The entire West Wing. Franklin Delano Roosevelt provided a new ground floor Oval Office. I guess he couldn't wheel himself up to the top floor. I'm not being funny. I'm being serious.
Right.
And he expanded the West Wing. Plus, he put a pool in the east side.
Can't have that either.
No, I got to get that out of there. Harry S. Truman, have you seen the photos of, and I had seen this previously, they gutted the White House in 1948, between 1948 and the 1950s. And this was a time when they put in all of the secret passageways and the bunkers and all that stuff going on underneath. It is fascinating to look at some of the photographs from inside. They're big, massive dump trucks inside the walls of the White House. Pretty cool. We got to eliminate all of that.
Yeah, we can't have that either.
Can't have any of that. Richard Nixon put in I like this. He put in a bowling alley, updated the press room, and installed a recording system.
Let's leave the bowling alley and recording system.
I bet he wishes that he had never installed that recording system, old Tricky Dicky. Don't you? I think it would be a good idea if we had a recording of all of this. I'm sure you do, Mr. President. Jimmy Carter installed solar panels, and they removed those later because everybody thought it was stupid. And Barack Obama put them back, reinstalled them. Barack Obama had a basketball court installed.
Can't have that.
Uh-huh. He apparently installed the basketball court where George W. Bush had horseshoes or something or another. And I guess Barack Obama's much of a horseshoe guy. You know?
That sounds about GW.
Don't you think that's about W? Hey, guys. Hey, Ken. Hey, Ken, you want to go out and throw some horseshoes? I'll ask Dad. George Bush. So, yeah, we got to rip all of that stuff out. That's no good. I love the feckless, powerless nature of the liberal Democrats in Washington, D.C., that they have nothing better to do than complain about this nonsense because Donald Trump's getting things done. Real quick, before I have to take a time out, a victory in the state of Tennessee today. You guys remember when the Tennessee Three couldn't manage themselves, the Bullhorn Trio? That would be Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson. And two of the three of them were expelled from the political body that is the Tennessee General Assembly House of Representatives. Eric Holder wrote a letter and demanded a full restoration or he would sue. Eric Holder actually sued the state of Tennessee. Well, today, a federal judge dismissed that lawsuit against our Speaker, Cameron Sexton, and the state of Tennessee. Speaker Sexton won, Eric Holder, a big goose egg. Way to go, loser. 17 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, folks. It's Matt Murphy for USS. USS stands for United Structural Systems. And when they come to your home, you don't just get the best in the business. You get peace of mind because USS is the company that gives you that. They have over 30,000 satisfied residential customers. 30,000 satisfied customers since 1994. That's a lot of satisfaction in the state of Tennessee. How do they do it? They get to the bottom of your issues, whether you have doors or windows sticking, whether you've noticed bowing or cracking walls. Perhaps you've noticed that telltale sign where there's cracks in the masonry joints of your basement, your crawl spaces. You need to check it out, folks. USS is the company to do just that. Homeowners trust USS since 1994. Once again, if you have any issue, call and they'll grant you that peace of mind. They'll come out jiffy quick. 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or online at USSTN.com, USSTN.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's not often that I get an opportunity to sit down with our next guest in person. You hear him quite a bit on the radio, on the telephone, and on Zoom because he's all over the joint. He's in Washington, D.C. a lot. He's in Knoxville. He's all over the state of Tennessee. He is Congressman Tim Burchett, and he joins us on Super Talk. What's up, brother?
Just glad to be here in Music City.
What are you doing in Nashville?
Pitching some of my new country music songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got a couple of them.
I feel better all over than I do anywhere else.
No, it's two-sided. I got a mirror on the ceiling of my double wide, but I Can't See Me Loving You would be my breakout hit. And the follow-up would be I got a couch. I sleeping single in a double wide. I got a couch made of naugahyde. That's my follow-up. I pitched that one time. Pitched those to Tracy Lawrence. I was at Longhorn Steakhouse back in the day, and I think he was eating. It might have been with Joe Diffie. I knew Joe pretty well, and he looked at Joe and he goes, "He's kidding, man." And he goes, "Oh, okay," because those guys get stuff pitched to them all the time.
I had a guy call me when I was in Birmingham, and he, my love of old school country music is well known, right? And he calls me and he said, and he claimed that he wrote a song for George Jones, that George Jones recorded on an album. And I kind of was like, okay, whatever. And he said, no, you can go find it. And the song is Leaving Our Love All Over the Place. Nobody's ever heard of it, but I encourage you to go and look it up. It is an album track that George Jones recorded. It is about a couple that frequented hotels. And
I got it.
Leaving Our Love All Over the Place was the name of the song.
Wow.
And
the possum recorded it.
And the possum recorded it in the 1970s. And you're like, wow, that's a wild track. But anyway, well, it's good to have you here, man.
It is great to be here, brother. Thank you.
Talk to me about, obviously everybody wants to talk about the shutdown. As you and I sit here, I guess it's on day 24. I kind of went off yesterday because I watch all of these pundits, these so-called neutral pundits, on the cable shows that you so graciously go on and combat.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, who's to blame? Hard to say. I was like, what are y'all talking about? There have been 12 votes.
That's why they don't have me on during this thing. I would clean somebody's clock. I get really tired of that. They it's all they got to do. Democrats, all they got to do is come to the table and vote for what they voted for 13 times. 13 times. And it's just a clean CR. And then we can get back. Trump said, I'll talk to you. We'll negotiate on the health care stuff. We got to fix it. We can't keep dropping $1.5 trillion into it every time we turn around, to make it work. Obviously, it is not working.
Well, do you think that there will come a point where the American people will get it? Right now, I don't know that the American people have fully paid attention. And I'm not talking, obviously, if you're in a military family, if you work with the government in some capacity, you're being impacted. But eventually, and I think we're about to see it on November 1st when the SNAP program gets impacted. There's only one group to blame, and it's the Democrat.
100%. All they have to do is come to the table, and it'll be there. But they won't. They want to, and they've said it. They said it's our one leverage point, and we need to cause as much pain as we can. And then Schumer's saying that it's working out well for us. Who is us? It's just ridiculous. It's all about power and control. It's about Schumer. He's got to lose. He knows AOC is creeping up on him. I did a video on my X account at Tim Burchett in front of Schumer's office, and literally there was some girl clomping up there. It sounded like a Clydesdale behind me. Clomp, clomp, clomp. I said, "You hear that? That's AOC," and she's creeping right up on on Schumer, and because he sees New York going far left communist, and we got a Marxist, anti-Semitic Muslim who's going to get elected mayor, and he knows that's New York's his base. That is his, hometown crime syndicate right there. That's what he's got to have, and he knows AOC has that wrapped up. And if she announces overnight, it'll be record-breaking money for her.
You bring some of those things up on my radio show to remind people in the state of Tennessee that there are a lot of people in this country that don't think like us.
No.
And if you consider for a moment that Chuck Schumer is not liberal enough for New York.
Yeah, he's not a communist. He's far left as you come. And what has happened is our colleges and universities, we've just turned them over to those folks. We've turned them over. Look at the head of the teachers union. if she is hit, I don't know if she more making $300,000 or $400,000 ranting and raving, screaming like running around like a chicken with her head cut off. She exemplifies what the union's about, and so many teachers are trapped in that because they have to join the union because they have to have the insurance, and that's just the bottom line. And we've allowed them in this thing, and again, the fox is watching the hen house, and the liberal mindset in schools is just overwhelming.
You're traveling around the state of Tennessee. Have people talked to you about the shutdown outside of the kind of the surface
Very
level
little,
conversation?
Very little. They say I get a thumbs up 99% of the time.
I mean, I assume that you support, because I know you well enough to I think I know where your headspace is on this, but I love the idea that Trump looks at this as an opportunity. And I think the Republicans should look at it as an opportunity. I mean, we started this second term of Donald Trump talking about, hey, we need to get rid of wasteful government spending. That's what Doge was all about. Well, what a great opportunity to identify where the waste truly is.
And see what functioned even when they didn't show up.
Right.
I mean, it's 100% that. You can see we got a lot of great federal employees, but when you're talking about in the Doge committee, and I serve on that subcommittee, Marjorie Taylor Greene is the chair lady, and she appointed me to the committee. We're pretty close. And I remember I said, let's have it over here, one of these places that rents out the real estate. We went to the place that rents out the federal real estate, and it was, I think, 12% occupied. The building, the literal building, was 12% occupied. That was, and then I asked the question. I said, "Are members of Congress own property that is being leased?" And they said,
"Of course they do."
In the affirmative. So it's just a racket, man. It's a total racket.
I
Shut
tried
it
to.
down. It's a trash can. Don't pick and choose. Turn it off. Turn it upside down. Put the garden hose to it and clean it out.
I tried to. It's kind of a microcosm of what you're talking about, and it's such a bigger issue in Washington, D.C. It's exponential. But I was in Alabama for 20 years, and I could not for the life of me understand why the retail sale of alcohol had to be managed through the government. And it was a waste of money. And I crunched the numbers for years and years. And I'm a small government libertarian guy. I'm like, just let the private sector do this.
It's a three-tier system.
Right. And eventually we figured it out. The leasing of the physical stores where they sold the alcohol, the ABC stores, almost every single building could be traced back to a politician.
Yeah. In the old days in Tennessee, when the Democrats would take over, the post office would always move across the street, and the Republicans would take over and come back on that side of the street because somebody owned, and that's the way it worked. And the interesting thing about the bureaucracy with liquor in Tennessee, there's a three-tier system. It's not, it's controlled, and that's exactly what will happen with marijuana or weed when it's legalized. It'll go through that three-tier system.
Do you think that's going to happen in the state? Do you think it's going to happen nationwide eventually?
I think eventually it will. Yeah, and I don't know that it's good or bad. I mean, I'm a libertarian. I mean, my fist is my responsibility till it touches your nose is basically the libertarian 100%. Philosophy. And I speak to a lot of groups. I was at a libertarian group, and this lady said, I got the glaucoma, and I said, ma'am, let's just be honest. You want to get high. You want to get high. That's okay. I'm okay. I'm not judging you. And then everybody agreed that, you want to get high. And then it was funny. After it's over, this guy came up to me and said, Tim, I grew up. He was he's a little older than I am. He said, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. I said, yeah. He said, I smoked pot back then. It was all right. He said, I went to California and for something. And he said, and I stayed in a campground. And I said, I'm going to give me some weed. And he smoked it. And he said, dude, I was laid out on my floor in my camper. And he said, that stuff shouldn't be legalized.
I'll tell you, my
father.
But
one thing I want to say, correct all my libertarians, and they kept saying, "Oh, legalize it and all the tax revenue." No, you won't. You'll just grow government. Don't tax it. If you're going to legalize it, just legalize it.
Right. I mean, and part of the problem with the marijuana lobby is that the big money people can't figure out how they can exclusively make the big money on it,
and how they can control it.
Liquor's a little bit easier.
I mean, you got to have the established machinery to do
Right.
it. But with pot, you
Weed.
just got to have some seeds and some horse manure and throw it in the backyard and let it grow.
Right. Well, we were talking
Not
about,
that I'm doing that.
No. Of course, we were talking along these lines about the issue of gambling, and this came up because of this scandal that happened. And
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised with the levels of tourism in the state of Tennessee that there's not been more of a push. In your experience on the state level or in politics, has there been a push to see formalized gambling in the state?
When I was in the legislature, I remember this. I remember we're eating down here at Morton's, and it was legal. I was down there, and the gambling people somehow had figured out that it was me and I think it was Steve Cohen were the two votes that if they could get us, Cohen was wide open. He's a little
Sure.
back then he was just whatever, and I remember they said, "What do you got any hobbies?" He said, "You like motorcycles, right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What are you working on?" And it was called a Harley Topper. It was a little scooter, and I was looking for a sidecar for it. And I remember the guy with him, and these guys they had the slick back hair, and they were very stereotypical big city type of people you would think were in the gambling business, if you catch my drift.
I do.
And he said, "What do you?" And I said, "What year is that?" I said, 65. He said, "What do anything with it?" "Yeah, I'm looking for a sidecar on it." And I saw the guy, he pointed to his guy, and he said, "What year was that? What year was that Topper, Tim?" And I said, "Dude, put your pencil away." I said, "I'm not." And at that point, I was not anywhere, I would not get anywhere near it, because you never know. Am I getting set up? Is this are they legitimately mobsters? If they're mobsters, it'd been one thing, but they needed to get a legislator because they were
They're just
hung up
trying to
on
be
some of-
friends, right? They're just trying to be
Ain't
your
no friends
friends.
in this business, brother. LBJ said, "You want a friend in this business, get a dog," and I got two of them, and I don't think they're my friends. So, but anyway, yeah, gambling. Again, they keep saying legalize all this stuff and then tax it and all the great things. All you do is build a bigger government. Case in point, tobacco. We tax tobacco, and literally it's the only product if used correctly will probably kill you 9 times out of 10. Some people don't. They'll thrive, whatever, they'll live. But it creates another program. And then people, what will they do? They'll eventually move on to something else. They won't smoke or people will die. And then you've got that revenue stream that you need, you're relying upon, say, for education. So then the only other way you can get it is through a property tax increase. So it's just a tax increase. Don't grow government. Don't do that. Everybody who sees this, they got dollar signs. They're very short term on that stuff, and you can't be. You need to look long term, the long term effects of a tax that you think is just manna from heaven, and it's not.
We're talking with Congressman Tim Burchett. We've got to take a quick time out on the Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll be right back right after this.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
All right, welcome back. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the Matt Murphy Radio Show. We've got a great opportunity to sit down with Congressman Tim Burchett. If you're watching on Talk TV on those platforms, you might notice a slightly different format. It's because we're sitting down a little bit earlier in the day. Tim's cruising through Music City, and we took the opportunity to speak in person with him, talking government shutdown, talking about overspending in government. And you're so right. You were saying this right before the break, and you're so right that when you talk to typical politicians about freedom-based issues, they immediately pivot to, okay, how's the government going to make money on it? And I'm like, wait a minute. No, we're just talking about giving basic freedoms and liberties to the people that you serve. The premise of, your constitutional responsibility versus my freedom to live a life of my own choosing. But all they want to worry about is how much cash they can get. And you would think with all that cash coming in, we wouldn't be $38 trillion in debt, but yet here we are. I believe, you and I have talked about this, I believe that our debt is our greatest existential crisis, and I think you agree with me.
100%. There's nothing greater, and I think part of it is constructed. I think some on the left, they hate this country, they hate the First Amendment, they hate everything about it. They hate our flag, they hate our veterans, they hate our God, they hate capitalism. And they're doing everything they can to destroy it because they want to build up a woke-utopia in their own little liberal image they think is going to work.
I'm not your typical conspiracy theory guy, but I don't think this is a conspiracy theory. I think it's reality of what's happening. Part of the reasons that the Soros-type money filtered into major cities, filtered into races like these prosecutor races, because they recognized if they could create a level of civil unrest in the major metropolitan areas, they could convince a lot of Americans that this isn't quote unquote working, right? And once you do, that's the way that socialism takes over.
Absolutely.
They convince you convince the people of
revolution. That's what they do. And then every dadgum time, and you see him and some of the folks like him, they'll devalue the currency, buy it up, and then reestablish it. And then they're sitting on a gold mine.
I mean, Chavez did it in Venezuela, right? The idea was this isn't working. We need to take it over for the people. And they always promise this is for the people. And it's not. It's for the politicians.
It's for them. It's for them. You want to see somebody successful in socialism, just look at the people that brought it in.
So are you losing sleep at night, Tim Burchett, concerned about the destruction that's happening to the White House? I'm sure you are.
I sleep about 4 hours a night, maybe on regular, and I've been sleeping maybe 5 to 6 here lately. I get up and work on my skateboards in the barn.
It is an indicator to me. I watch these networks. I like to say I watch CNN so you don't have to, because it's a lot of garbage.
Yeah.
And
I don't even watch it when I'm on it.
Well, I mean, you're good.
I'm on it quite a bit.
You're one of the few highlights on there. And by the way, we appreciate you doing that. Years ago, I was asked to do a number of CNN hits because of a political race that was going on in Birmingham, in Alabama, the Roy Moore race. You might remember it.
I do.
And I got a little pushback for going on CNN. Like, why would you do that? And I was like, because they need people that listen to that and watch that channel need to hear this.
100%.
They need to hear from us.
And nobody else will. I don't understand. I said, we're right on the issues. Just stick to your point. I was on there quite a bit, and it's funny. I was in the White House not long ago in the Oval Office, and President Trump says, "Can I tell you what he said?" That
yeah, absolutely.
He goes, "Hey Tim," he goes, "I really like watching you on CNN, buddy." And I said, "Really? Why is that, Mr. President?" And I was just kind of in a little shock. He knew my first name, and he goes, "Because every time you're on, they always fire somebody." And I thought, well, I'll take it, Mr. President, but thank you. But I don't enjoy being on there, but I'm glad I do because it keeps you sharp. And I go on some softball deal all the time. It's not reality. But you've got to take it and you'd be surprised at how many conservatives maybe flipping through the dial and catch it. Or I'll have a liberal friend of mine say, you made a pretty valid point on it. I don't agree with you on the whole thing, but some of that was pretty valid. And so I've said that, we've got to be bold. Preachers don't preach the gospel because they're afraid. We're afraid to stand up for ourselves on Facebook, for goodness sakes. You're at the you're getting a drink of water at work and some guy's running down the country or the president or something you don't like. I was, man, you don't have to be a jerk about it. Just give them the facts and then leave them. You don't have to be. I don't have to get riled up and fired up and walk off and give a high five to somebody. But I kind of enjoy it actually because I like taking the fight to them because somebody has to do it. And I don't think I'm the best avenue to do it, but nobody else is doing it. Dadgummit, I'm going to do it.
I think you're pretty good. And I try to remind myself and the audience that if they are this focused on the small stuff, it means we're winning the big stuff.
Oh, 100%. And their numbers are dropping. It's folks like yourself that they can't combat. And this crazy thing right here, X, I'll post a video. I posted this Burger King video. I thought, the King's rally or whatever. So I'm standing in front of the Burger King holding a Whopper. And I should have eaten it on camera because it wasn't a prop. I really do like a Whopper. And so as I said, flame broiled goodness. But, I think that they can't combat that. And that thing had over 2 million views. Fox had it on the other night. My sister called me and texted me and said, Fox just had this video of you with a Burger King at the Burger King wearing a crown. And I said, really? And she said, yeah, they played the whole thing. It was over a minute long. And dadgummit if they didn't. And the viewership. And we've got to take it to them. It doesn't have to be. I always worry because these guys in my line of work, they get up and they give these long explanations. Fred Thompson said this, and he was my buddy. He was a U.S. Senator, of course, from Tennessee, since passed away. But he was a great friend of mine and a great inspiration. And he said to me, buddy, don't ever be afraid of a one-word answer. And I think sometimes we try to pontificate too much in these speeches. We try to educate people on the nuances and all the nomenclature and all the inside stuff. People don't want all that. They just want to know the facts. They got a family to feed. They don't have time for all that garbage.
Well, you bring up the No Kings rally. My response to that was great. Stay off the streets. Be peaceful. Good luck.
Yeah.
Enjoy your Saturday. I'm going to be watching football.
Like
spending time with family, right?
Yeah. At 12 o'clock, buddy, they were out.
I mean,
that's when the clock ended for them. That's when they clocked out.
I was about to say, it was almost like they clocked out and their hour was up, or however much they were getting paid. In the 5 or so minutes that we have left, I do want to pivot to. It's a question that a lot of my listeners have asked over the last 6 months or so.
Right.
It was a lot of questions about what were you called to do in public service next. You're doing a great job, obviously, as a congressman in Tennessee, but some were asking, hey, is Tim Burchett, led to run for governor? Obviously, you're not going to do that, but, I see you at a lot of events. I see you all around the state of Tennessee. I see you talking to folks. Are you, thinking about the possibility that you might get called to action as a United States Senator should Marsha Blackburn win the governor's office?
Yeah, I would love that opportunity. I'm not going to be one of these guys that says I'm forming a study committee and, all that. Well, we're going to – no, I would love to take the fight to the Senate level, and I think I could do a very good job of it. I've served at every level of government. And a lot of people go up high and then they come down low and then back and forth. I'm just going to start. I started at the state level. I served 16 years in the legislature, 8 years as county mayor, been 8 years in Congress. I would love that opportunity to be a United States Senator.
How is it, for those that don't know, how is it different, and how would that, change your approach, or would it change your approach, Congress versus the Senate?
I don't think it would change anything about me, just a bigger venue. And we focus on constituent service because one thing is we've created a horrible nightmare for Tennesseans and Americans, and you shouldn't have an office that has to jump through the hoops for a veteran, for VA, or somebody's disability or whatever. And so, we do that. But also I would be a conduit for House legislation. When I was in the state legislature in Tennessee, it ran so well because of a lot of things, a lot of great people, but the system was set up. There was single issue spending bills, and there was an avenue for House and Senate to correlate. You couldn't file a bill in the House unless you had a Senate sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
But you just pass a bill in the House, and you go, like my bill to defund the Taliban. They're getting $40 million a week from the American taxpayers. And it's taken me over a year to get that thing through. And the reason I got it through is for folks like yourself, the podcast, the radio, talk radio, and the internet. But I would be a conduit from the House to the Senate for great legislation, because a lot of times it just dies. You pass it and they just because nobody knows to call. And I always tell the senators, the House guys that run for the Senate, I said, when you get over there, I need you to do what everybody else does. And they said, what's that? I said, ignore me completely, because that's what they do. It just it's unbelievable. I have a great relationship with Senator Haggerty and Senator Blackburn. They're great. I can walk out of the studio and call them and, hey, Tim, what's going on? I say, I'm working on this. Can you help me? But sometimes you need somebody from other parts of the country to carry legislation. And I think I could help with that because I've seen how it should work.
It's funny you mentioned the attitude shift that happens between Congress. And if you've ever, for those who have never taken a tour of the Capitol, please take a tour of the Capitol. And don't get me wrong, the House of Representatives is beautiful. Yeah. It's gorgeous. But it is, relatively speaking, plain as can be compared to the Senate. Oh. And I was proud of myself because years ago I took a tour, and the guy that was giving us the tour said, anybody got any ideas why the Senate side is so ornate, so beautiful? They got those frescoes or whatever they call it on the ceilings. And relatively speaking, the House is not. And I thought for a minute, I was like, oh, it's because the direct election of senators, there was no direct election of senators. He said, bingo. He said they never had to specifically answer to the people about the money that they were spending on their stuff.
It was done by their own legislature that put them in.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and you get shushed over there. It's like the Bluebird here in Nashville. If you go to the House, you can just raise a ruckus and put somebody in a headlock. You go over the Senate side, you get shh.
It's like the Bluebird. That's true. That's exactly right.
You're going to wake one of those old guys up over there.
Well, I will say this before we go, that I want to ask you about my idea, because we are currently dealing with an impasse in the Senate. Obviously, the Democrats are responsible for the impasse. But my idea has been, some say, why don't you just break through the filibuster, kill the cloture vote, 60-vote cloture that is necessary to get beyond the quote-unquote filibuster and move on with it. And I'm against that. I'm a traditionalist. I do think that there needs to be a filibuster in the Senate. There needs to be a voice for the minority. But one thing that the 75 rule did, it moved from 2/3 of voting members to 3/5 of members sworn in. And I think a simple change that from 3/5 of members sworn to 3/5 of members present. At least make their, asses sit there in the body.
Go to there.
If they're going to filibuster, make them be there to filibuster. And when their old butts go home and go to bed, then you can vote things through because they're not in the chamber.
I got no problem with that. I think that's you get hired. You used to have a saying in the House. Jimmy Nafee was the speaker, and he was quoting some guy, I forget, Fats or somebody, I can't remember the guy's name, but it was, if you didn't want to work, you shouldn't have hired on. And that's the way we should be.
You still ride two-wheelers? You still ride bikes?
Yeah, I've got my 1947 Indian Chief. I got a 64 Bonneville. I got this thing called a Mustang. It's a little one-cylinder.
Anything this century, Tim?
No. As a matter of fact, no, I don't. Everything I have is a kickstart.
That's good. I had
I take it back. I had my dad's old Harley. It was an '84. It was the last year of the Ironheads. It's electric start.
Well, I ride a 2016 Lowe's, the last year of the Dynaframes, but I have a Yamaha Virago. It was the first street legal motorcycle that I had when I was a young guy, and I was off bikes for years, and that's what I bought to get back on them. And rebuilt it and did all that, and then realized I needed something that went over 70 miles an hour, so it was time to graduate up.
You really do, but most of mine are old, and I collect them, and I've sold a bunch. My daughter rides horses, so I wish she just stuck with motorcycles. They were safer and cheaper.
Well, be safe over there in Knoxville and the surrounding area. We thank you so much for stopping by, brother.
I thank you. As you'll notice, the camera probably makes love to me, so your ratings will go through the roof.
Listen, you look good in that car. Is that Carhartt?
Yeah, it's a Carhartt.
I almost asked you, who are you wearing? And I was like, you're wearing Carhartt, right? Yeah.
I got a story about that. Maxine Waters, when I first got to the Senate, to the, I was thinking state Senate, but when I first got elected to Congress, got on the elevator with me, and she said, it was above 60, so I don't wear it when it's above 60. You that boy that always wears that barn jacket? And I said, yes, ma'am. She said, why are you wearing it? I said, 3 reasons, chair lady. I said, and they're all like me. I said, it's American made, it holds up under pressure, and it's cheap. And
Tim, thank you, man.
Thank you,
We
brother.
appreciate
It's been
you.
a great pleasure.
There's Congressman Tim Burchett back in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.